Yo, 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 morning, morning, morning. I am 3 minutes late. What's up, Raul, Anderson, Chris, Tim, Jordan, Clive, Chloe, Josh, John, Papa Wright, what's up, man? Ron E, Rambo, Gary, what's up, Finite? Good morning, Steven, Justin, Daffy, Victoria, Pike, Sonia, Los Dive, Supreme Trade, Nicole, Curtis, and Sonia. Good morning, everybody. Before he starts. All right, now this time I'm going to actually remember to remove the images. There we go. Okay. Okay. How's the music? Is it too loud, too quiet? I think I need to turn it down a hair. Yeah, like right there's probably fine. All right. I'm ready to go. All right, so I need to change my name. Yeah, I keep wanting to say finite or finite. To be honest, finite sounds like the better way to say it. But yeah, guys, let's run up those likes. Let's try to get it to 50 again. You guys know me. My goal is 50 every stream. Let's try to get it. We only need 22 more. But let's jump into this. I'm already late as it is. So, first off is the dollar. We are getting a slight rejection, which is actually particularly a little bullish for the equity market. Now, this isn't anything crazy yet. I did say watch for a rejection of the top of this area. The thing we need to look for now is for this to actually make the new low. And if it does, that's a very, very good sign for bulls on the market. Now, if we end up holding this area of demand, it's not going to be a good sign because we're probably going to get a bounce in this. We'll probably have to retest a higher resistance like up here around the 106s, 107s, past the 105s, which is bearish for equities, which is all the things that we all love to look at each day. So we've gotten a slight pullback since the rejection of 411.75. Got a nice, I mean, this is the only green day since Powell that isn't even really a green day because we opened way lower. And yeah, we did close higher. That's true. So it is a green day. But in the sense of it, it's not, though. We didn't even really cross anything. So since Powell, we really haven't had a green day in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. You know, including if you don't include the Powell day. We really haven't had a green day besides that day. So that's what kind of gets me about these past few days. And yesterday I said, watch for tomorrow's open. Big thing to watch is tomorrow's open. An open higher and hold of support can bring a small bounce / inside daily candle. A lower open will need to show rejection of 388s and 390s range from below. So I don't want to just see this break this support. I want to see it on the smaller time frames, test it from underneath, and then break down towards this support. Then you can start to go short for some plays. But right now we've actually done that. We've rejected it, pushed down to those 388, 390s, and we've pushed back up into this area. So we need to be watching above, not just this blue area, not just this blue area right here from the bigger time frame. We need to watch above the key levels. So let's mark some. Previous day open, previous day high. I'm just marking the true wick high right now because we already have the open right there. True low with the meat of it right there. So we got a couple levels in between. But the main thing that I want to watch today is this little range right here. This is where we kind of popped up, rejected, and then closed. So this tiny, tiny, tiny little area right here. I want to see us push above this for longs. If you see a retest, awesome. That's what we're looking for. But the thing for shorts is that now that we've already done this move, it makes it not as strong when we do sell off under this area. Because now it's not just break this area. Now it's break the pre-market low. And we probably need to wait for it to break 390, 388 with the trend line right there. So we have a lot to look at today, but it's very easy to look at once you realize what we're staring at. So I'm going to type it up real quick. But those are my opinions on the market. Again, there's a bullish case, there's a bearish case. Don't sit there and just plan out one side. It's really ineffective, and it's just ignorant. You shouldn't ever just sit there and talk about how bulls can do this and bears can do this when you should be covering both. You know, cover both scenarios. But let me get my pre-market high started. It's actually about right here. 395. What do you know? Alright, so we'll be watching for bullish moves over 394 and 395. Bearish moves under 391 60s. Pre-market low. And the 388 to 390 range from daily time frame chart. Bam. All right, so now we have our plan for upside and downside. I am kind of leaning more towards the upside today, mainly because the past few days we've sold off straight into a bigger support and a really nice uptrend line from the recent uptrend. But secondary, I would say the reason I like it is because we've already made this move. We've already made the move to almost the 390s this morning after rejecting. So that kind of leads me to believe that we've just tested the low, and we actually do want to pop back up for some short-term move to the upside. I'm not saying that we're going to the moon. I'm not saying we're going to go back up to, you know, whatever, to 408, 406. I'm just saying we're probably going to have a small green day today, unless we break this support. That's kind of like the entire scenario there for you. So that's what we need to look out for. We'll keep that on watch. Let's get through some more of these charts. So we got AMD here, previous day open, previous day lows already marked basically. Previous day close, that'll be a really, really good break above level, and then our pre-market low. So we have a really solid range for AMD already. All right, so I said above 70-30s towards 71, above 71 for more. Below 69. Got 67.50 there. All right, so AMD done. Tesla, you're next. Previous day open, previous day close. I'm gonna grab the meat of the low, so I'm grabbing the true low and then the meat of it. So it's a kind of that, it's that entire area. It's not just one spot. And then it looks like we can watch under 173.85. Tesla above. That's a tough one. I don't want to say outside of this. All right, so this is definitely our break below. That's easy to see. Break above, not as easy to see. I would generally like to say this level here, but we're too close. I think I'm just going to go ahead and go with the 177.60 here. 179.40s slash 180 above 180s for more. Good morning, everybody who's just joining us. Thank you, guys. Feel free to drop a like on the stream. We have 48. My aim is 50 each stream, so try to give me 2 more of those, please. But thank you, everybody, for joining. I appreciate all of you. I'm just getting my thought process down. Below 173.85. There's scalps. Alright, so we got AMD, we got Tesla. Let's keep going down the list. Alright, so pre-market lows right here. That's a pretty good break below, but we could just wait for that 139.96. Break above probably this previous day close. This seems to be lining up for every chart. So it looks like above 142 will be a decent spot, but you also have 142.92 to watch out for. So we'll make sure to come back to that. I thought I saw that off a little. All right, so we'll come back to this, but I do like this chart. It's basically watch under 139.96 or watch above 142, or you can just wait for the more passive 142.90s. So there's a couple levels here you can go off of for Apple, which we'll go back through. That one's easy to remember. It's Apple. I'm going to have to check Apple. I'm just trying to save space on my list so I don't have to do as much. All right, so we got our previous day close, previous day open, pre-market low. So it looks like we can watch above the previous, again, the previous day close lining up to be a really good break above level, and the pre-market low lining up to be a good break below level, with a really close one right there with 155. So it looks like we can look outside of 160 and 155 for passive moves on NVIDIA. So I'll keep that highlighted. So we'll come back to that one. Amazon, previous day low, meat of the previous day low, pre-market low, whoops. Pre-market low, 87.48. Previous day open, previous day close, which is actually lining up right on that bigger time frame level, 88.25. What's our pre-market low at? Or pre-market high at? It's up here. So it looks like above 88.88, we can start looking towards 89.50. Above 89.50, we can look towards the 90.50s, 90 and 90.50s. Don't want to joke about the 90. Very strong psychological level. Looks like under 8750. We don't just have 86 down here. We have the 8660, 8650 spot in between as a good halfway point, so we'll definitely keep that on watch. So far, I'm liking every single chart we've looked at. Finally, Baba showing some realization in their chart. So they're going to be opening at the 87s. The level I was watching under was 89s. So if you see it pull up to this spot at any point today and reject this area, look to go short again with this as your risk. My time frames are I'm on the 5-minute. I look at the daily and the 5-minute for the most part. If you guys are asking about risk management or time frames, you guys need to check out workshop number 11. Every single day, it might not sound like it, but we talk about risk management here every single day. Every time I talk about an idea, I talk about what would be a good stop, what would be a good target. This is risk management. Now, something to focus on, Brian, when you're thinking about risk management is not spending more than 10% of your account on any individual trade. Netflix actually has a pretty awesome range here. It looks like under 301, 300s, we can look for shorts. Let me add the previous day open and previous day close. And look above 305.50. Again, the previous day close lining up to be a very solid break above level. Meta with a very clear day range. I might have to add Meta just because that one's so tight. I like that one a lot. Alright, that one's pretty easy. I didn't even have to add anything. Previous day open, previous day close already marked, previous day low. Everything else is there, so I'll just leave it as is. Easy, easy, easy. Neo, I need to quit abusing Neo. Wick of previous day low, meet of previous day low, wick of previous day high, meet of previous day high. So we got kind of a range here to look above. We got a range here to look below. Everything inside of that is don't touch. Previous day close already marked, previous day open basically is marked at 13 flat. So we could basically just watch that. I'm not going to add it to the list, but we will look at it more. Let me zoom this out more. Goo. Pre-market low, previous day close, previous day open. All right, so it looks like outside of 97, that'll be good, and outside of 95.90s, that'll be good. Microsoft, I'd almost never have to add levels in this chart because there's so many levels from the daily time frame. But yeah, it looks like outside of 241 or the pre-market low and 241, we could look for more downside. For upside, we're going to have to watch above basically 245s. Let me delete that because we already have a level right there basically. But yeah, above 245s, we can watch for Microsoft to get busy for the bulls. Square's stuck in a range. It looks like outside of 6170s and 5940s, that'll be really good. Boeing, this one I've been going along with you guys for multiple days now, and basically I said watch for this to hold. If it doesn't hold, we will be pulling back down to the lower part of this range. I'm still with that TA. So basically what we need to watch for today is for them to break their pre-market low for the open range breakout. But before that, in case we get any upside movement today, we want to see them hold under 180s, 179s. If they can hold under this area, I'll just go ahead and highlight it. If they can hold under this area today, watch for rejections against this for better risk-reward put plays, and then vice versa. Look for it to break over. So don't just enter if it pops over. Enter on the retest, just because we are looking for rejection, so we are a little bit more bearish here. But if it pops over, don't be that bearish. You know, if it ends up holding over, that's bullish. You know, don't let that phase you. But watch for rejections in this area, or we can watch under 175.50s, which I think I'm gonna go ahead and type that out. We have room here today. All right, there we go. All right, real quick, guys, let me share this to everybody. I am responsible of sharing this to a bunch of people still, so I want to make sure everybody gets that on time. All right, that is sent out. Everything's sent. Good, good, good. Make sure to check my socials as well. I don't say this enough. I need to, because I have people ask me repeated questions that are right in front of them. But Instagram, Twitter, And then check bio of my YouTube for my Discord. Real quick, let me make sure that's sent everywhere real quick, and then we should be good to go. Alright, here's the daily watch list my friend provides, Callan. He sends this out to many servers. But my friend Callan posted daily watch list today, MU, QCOM, ABNB, Tesla, and Snow. So I'll leave this up for a second if you guys want. There's also some really nice market notes here. Just gonna leave it like that. So I'll leave this up for like a minute or two just to give you guys a second to kind of look at it. See if there's anything else in there you might have missed from anything else I've covered. We'll go over a few more tickers. We'll relook at what we already charted. We'll go back over the SPY and dollar again, and then market should be really close to opening by that point. But yeah, be sure to drop a like on the stream, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Good morning, Dag. Good morning, Mel, Kid. Good morning, Crazy Life. Chris, Cam, Imran. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Maxon. I'm not saying the stop loss needs to be 10%, Brian. I'm saying use your levels for your stop loss. And I'll go over that more. And I do this every day, so I'll go over it more. But I'm saying don't use more than 10% of your account for the trade. And in all honesty, you should be using less than 8% of your account per trade just to be a little bit passive. Therefore, you can take a moderate sized stop loss and not be completely screwed inside of your account. And then the other question is, all right, well, if I don't have enough to trade this, then don't trade options. Don't trade that stock. Find a cheaper options chain, or two, save up. Stop spending money. Stop jumping into trades randomly just because you feel the need to jump into a trade. Review more. If you're trading more than you're reviewing or visualizing, that's a very big problem. That's a very big red flag. Good morning, Shaq, Wall Street Alley. Good morning, Anna J. Good morning, Another Great Deal, SF, Nairu, or Niru, however it's pronounced. I apologize if I'm saying it wrong. Good morning, Chance. Good morning, Isaiah. Good morning, everybody. Hit the simulator every night if you need to trade. And it's not even just that, you know. It's like it literally takes no effort to go back to. I mean, it takes a little effort, you know, a little mental energy, but it takes almost no effort to open up your chart, clear it, go redo the levels. Again, most of you should know how to do the levels by now. A lot of you guys have been in these streams repeatedly now. Review the levels, review it on the smaller time frame, break down what were some entries and exits that really could have been taken inside of that day. But I'm gonna move this off now. Looks like you guys should have already read that, or you know, gotten through it by now, or even screenshotted it. Let me see if it sent everywhere. It did. Okay, cool. Yeah, and that is more of a personal question. Another great deal. I'm not really here to tell anybody that. It really is personal preference. Some people find it better to use more. Some people like to use less while they're practicing. In my opinion, you shouldn't be trading at all in the beginning. You should save up, practice, visualize, paper trade even, paper trading is awesome, but it's not as good as just mental trading in my opinion, because it takes the emotions out of it. It turns it into just straight decision making. You know, once this happens, we look towards this. If this happens, we look towards this. You know, it's always this or that. It's never anything weird like that, so... And the dollar is still dropping, so that's a good sign for bulls on SPY going into the open. It's probably why we have this recent spike right here, actually. But like I said, guys, pay attention. We need to watch over 394s, and then we still have the pre-market high to worry about. Dollar's down 0.6% currently. Good watch, Isaiah. Good watch. And yes, again, we're using the daily chart to use the levels. We don't have to. We could go to this chart if we really wanted to, you know, be anal about it. Really good short there. Pre-market low still in range. You still have the pre-market high, but it's basically the same story. we're basically still watching over 394, 395, or watching under pre-market low. So no matter which one I switch to, we're basically watching the same thing. The reason I'm on this one today and yesterday is because it's giving me less levels, and I really do feel like this is helping some of you visualize a little bit better. Because whenever I cover SPY and there's a bunch of levels on the screen, I feel like that confuses some people. So I'm trying to keep it as, least confusing as possible. What's up, Jeremy? How you doing, man? Again, guys, just to give you all a pre-warning, just because YouTube servers have been kind of lacking this past couple weeks. If there is any lag or it cuts you off or kicks you out, just give it like a minute and rejoin. Or if you're in the stream and it's lagging, just go back a couple seconds. Go back like 5 seconds. It does refresh for you. What's up, El Toro? Glad to see you, man. And yeah, I like that one too a lot, Jeremy. You said got eyes on Meta plus MDB early. I like Meta a lot as well, just because it's in such a tight range. So regardless of upside or downside, this is already in a very compact range. So an explosive move is very possible out of that pre-market. I like that. I like that one a lot. There's a few that kind of have that. No, not Nvidia. What was it? It was Amazon. Amazon, even though it did dip a little bit, it's pretty compact too. So I like Amazon a lot too. A top discretionary weight. Baba, I want to look for this rejection here. So if you see the push up, it kind of reminds me of the Boeing one, which is funny because you got BA, BA, and then BA. And they're kind of like the same setup almost. Looking for rejection. If not, we'll look for the retest over, which, to answer your question, another great deal, you don't know how to determine it beforehand. You figure that out as you go. So you want to see price break above, you want to see it hold on top, you want to see weak volume as it's trying to hold on top, and then you want to see a good rising volume move off of that for a retest. It would be vice versa if you're going towards this. You'd want to see rising volume into this resistance with no candles closing over. You'd want to see some top wicks kind of show some weakness against that area, and that would be how you determine what it's possibly going to do. Again, you never know for sure, but it gives you a lot higher probability. Morning, Chief. Happy hump day, everyone. Happy hump day, Sandollar. Glad to have you in here. You said FSLR is looking good on the daily. Let me check TAN real quick because I didn't even review that end of day yesterday. And they did finally break this downtrend or this line again. I'm very happy to see them back in this range, but this is a huge area of consolidation now. So at least the solar sector does look a little bearish to the downside. And yeah, FSLR already taken, and this is actually what I was covering the other day with Daffy. I was saying if it does break down early, watch, I even have it highlighted still. I was saying watch this resistance turn support. This will be where price goes. If you want to see it sell further, watch it under that blue area, which it should be. Yeah, it is. It's under the blue area. So if you want to highlight that and go over that, that's a really good spot. You're 100% correct, Jeremy. That one does look really good. Dollar Tree looks interesting. What do you like about it, Tim? What's your favorite part? Ignore this junk down here. I think it was already time, Daffy. It was just risky because we've had so much consolidation there. I would say yesterday or even the day before were good indications. I didn't get to go over it as much as I wanted to, of course, but those were already kind of looking good. Plus, TAN looks like it has more room below if it breaks that range. It's all about risk reward, Daffy. You know, if you find a spot like finding this inside candle and then seeing us break that, once that held under this candle, that was bearish. That was basically bearish as soon as it broke that low, is how you should look at it. which FSLR didn't have that same reaction. It was just kind of like inside it, but it was still kind of the same reaction because it's inside of this candle, and then it broke that low, you know, so it finally actually pushed outside of that range. So I would say it was already time for early entries. Late entries, you probably want to wait for a retest and rejection of 164.60s, or that push under that blue area like you saw me just go over. So like with FSLR, that would be how I handle that. Yeah, sorry about that, Daffy. I didn't get to cover it as much as you wanted. Looking for a test of the low and see if it bounces off of it. Oh, you're looking for like a test of this consolidation here? Because it technically does still have a really, really good level here. You have really good resistance here, and then also no retest until we got right here. So actually, you could say it's still short-term bullish from this resistance turned possible support. So basically, you should be short-term bullish as long as 142.80s, 143.50s hold. If you see this area break, it definitely wants to test the lower 140s, and if you see 141 break, it most likely does want to go test towards the bottom of that range on that bigger time frame. It's a very good watch, Tim. I do like what you're looking at. Good morning, Mickey. Glad to have you in here. Did y'all see that downgrade on Carvana? I think they said from $9 to $1. I think they downgraded it to $1. I'd have to go look who it was. It was probably Deutsch or JP. But overall, they went down. They're going down because of the $9 to $1 downgrade. I thought that was crazy when I saw that. Seeing a 1 on my screen was very surprising. But that's pretty crazy. Yeah, they basically are a penny stock already. Kind of sucks for them. But I thought that was wild. I haven't seen too many of those where it goes like from pretty close to $10 all the way down to $1. I mean, that's a pretty crazy downgrade. It was Weedbush probably. Yeah, I didn't pay attention to who I was reading. I just saw downgrade list. But yeah, most likely Weedbush. I'd have to go relook though. Good morning, Bueller. Got the BB course 2 days ago and slowly working my way through it. Very happy to hear, Wild Ravage. I'm very happy to hear that. How do you like the course so far? Burning cash fast? Yeah. Which, I mean, just that idea, you know, the whole Carvana idea, you know, it is very cool. I do like the whole thing, but at the same time, they are spending a lot of money to do what they do. But yeah, guys, as you can see, we're ready for SPY. We covered the bigger time frame on that in the dollar. We covered the smaller time frame on SPY. What are our thoughts on all three of those? And then we covered a bit of a list. I went through most of these, pretty much all of them but Berkby and Crowd. But overall, I will go through all these during the stream. We'll try to go through some of the sectors, which actually we can do that real quick. XLK, your tech sector, this is the largest and probably the most important sector on SPY. But overall, it looks like as long as we can pass this level here at 130.75 and previous day close, we look good for bulls. If they can break this, retest on top, push higher, awesome. If we see them break pre-market low, in this area here at 129, we're most likely going to be coming back down. So we can watch that with Apple and Microsoft. Healthcare is kind of in the same seat. They have their previous day close candle about right here. So we'll have to watch over that with the previous day lows right here. So keep that range on watch. Discretionary, this is what a lot of people like to look at when they're looking at Amazon, Tesla, Nike, Home Depot. I think even McDonald's is in this. Yeah, McDonald's is actually, it's above Nike now. Wow, it used to be Amazon, Tesla, Home Depot, Nike. Now McDonald's is fourth. Nice. Okay, so yeah, there's been some weighting change, but overall you can see it's still the same story of tickers you can look at. But overall, they're in the same seat. It looks like they're going to be battling their previous day lows or their previous day close with this level here that we have at 139.68. So we'll watch that. Comms, this is something you can watch with Meta and the Googs. I always mention those. You also have Netflix in here. There's Comcast T. There's a few others, but the main four up top are the ones I look at. And I really don't even look at Goog. I look at Google, which there isn't much difference in trading. It's the fact that they have different voting rights with their company. So shareholders cannot vote on, I think it's Goog. Google's the one they should be able to vote on. So they have a very tiny initial range for us to look at. And then financials. This was one that brought us down very early on. Not just yesterday, but multiple days back. This was one of the first weak sectors after breaking resistance and pushing lower. This was one of the weakest ones. So if we see this one recover today, that should be a pretty decent sign that we're slowing down at least. But we're going to need to watch previous day lows and the previous day close candle with that level mixed in, 34.76. So we'll definitely keep eyes on this. And then the rest aren't as important. These top 5 make up for 70 to 75% of the market. But you do have industrials, that's what XLI stands for, staples, XLP, real estate, XLRE, base materials, XLB, XLU is utilities, and then you have the amazing sector that was the most bullish of the year, energy, which you can also pair with watching oil futures. Now, they aren't the exact same because they do have a little bit more weighting in them. Again, oil is not the only thing inside of the energy sector, but it does have a heavy effect on it. And you can see we have rejected 75, came back down. We're kind of stuck in between 72.50 and 75, which this is my daily time frame chart. And we're actually against a pretty scary support, but at the same time, we just broke a pretty scary support at the same time. We have this very heavy one here that we kind of sat above for a while, failed to really push below with any strength the first time, and now that we have pushed below with strength, again, you can see that because we have a rising volume, bigger candles popping up, and we've already broken it once, rejected the level that we tried to push down before, and broke again. So this is just like this move here, where we broke, retested, push lower. It's the same move. We're going to be looking for the same move here under the 75s and 76s, and possibly 72.50. So oil is going to be coming down if 72.50 breaks. Levels underneath 72.50, we have our 70 flat, 66, and you have 65 as well with the 61.80s there. So there's a lot of levels to look at for oil, but overall they have been pulling back pretty well for a while now. This hasn't just started. This has been going on since they hit that top at like 130s. Yeah, 130.50. They've rejected it, and ever since then we've been in basically a downtrend since that top, which is good for us consumers, cheaper gas. It does take a few weeks for those prices to adjust, though. Link to the course is in the bio of my YouTube. I even updated it yesterday. Beginning a lot of newcomers get it, so definitely check out that course if you want. That the course is basically and we can go through it one day or skim through it because I don't want to give out all the info in it, but the course is basically just everything we do. It gives you how we get our level. I mean, the first section is basics of options, which is just general basic of options info. I mean, that's what it's labeled. But then the rest of the sections cover how we day trade, how we swing trade, what we look for, literally everything. Which you can actually find all that info on my channel for free if you just take your time to go through it. But it's really up to you and what you want. The Discord is a lot different from the course. It's not just information in there. We have people who like to engage, be active, talk about what they're looking at, update the market, all kinds of stuff. There are signals as well, but that's not our main focus. Our main focus is giving people the reasoning, giving people the tools they need to trade on their own, and give them some confidence. I'm not really here to, all right, guys, buy this contract at 0.68. We're going to sell it here at 0.72. You know, none of that. Do you share how to set up your charts? What do you mean? Like this, like the levels and everything? There's not really much to set up. This is all really just personal preference. I like the watch list here. Again, you can just mess with these by clicking on the gadget button there. Scratch pad, it's kind of just nice to have my notes here. But I mean, there's not really much I've really added to my charts. I get that question a lot, and I really haven't done a whole lot of anything to my charts. I might have changed some of the colors. I might have tightened it up. When you go to the settings on setup and you go to look and feel, there's a bunch of things I added. I made a large font size, tight spacing, therefore I can see the things bigger, but they're tighter together, so I can see more. Your setup, yeah. See, I don't really know what you mean by that. I haven't really done anything to my TOS. If you could go a little bit more in depth and let me know what you mean by that, I'll definitely feel free to answer you. But I've been getting that question a lot, and I genuinely am confused when you guys ask that. I'm not like trying to be rude or anything. I just have no idea what you mean. But one real quick, let me click on this. I want you guys to, if you guys haven't already seen this video, you need to go see it. I'm going to link it in the YouTube. There are a lot of people who've been asking me about this video. Make sure you go to this video, you watch it, take time to go through it. Good morning, J-Bake. What's up, man? And here in a couple minutes, I'm going to invite Devin into the call. We'll get to talking about everything on the market. We'll just start covering our SPY updates like we usually do. I believe the question is, what indicators do you do for day and swing trading? But I'm still confused even after that question, because I don't use indicators. There's nothing on my screen. You see where I'm coming from? Like, again, I'm not trying to be rude. I just don't understand what you mean. But thank you for trying to help, though, KK Sound. Hey, what's up, KK? How you doing, man? You like the sector rotation watch list I got? Yeah, I say, man, I also make sure to have it in order of weights, which I don't think it's in perfect order, because if you actually go to SPY, click Analyze, and you look at the sectors, financials has actually increased over discretionary. You have XLK, XLY, XLF, XLK, XLV, XLF, XLY, XLI, XLC. So industrials has actually jumped into the top 5. It's not something I'm used to. Financials is normally 4th or 5th. They're now 3rd. But the top 2 weights have not changed, though. Financials are the 3rd top weight now. Consumer discretionary is the 4th. Industrials are actually the 5th. And then you have comms at 6th. So comms have actually dropped a lot. This is most likely from Meta. You also had the Google pullback, which every stock in this sector and all of these sectors have pulled back a little bit. But I'd say comms have pulled back some of the most aggressive. You go through this list and you'll start to notice, like, oh crap, you remember Netflix, how many times it's pulled back? You remember Verizon and T, how many times they pulled back? Comcast, Meta, Google, and them, they've pulled back a little bit and still have room below. So that's most likely why we're seeing a change in some of the weighting there. But this is the order I'm used to, so I'm just gonna keep it like that until I need to change it. Yeah, maybe you mean look and feel. But yeah, go check it out. There's a couple things you can mess with. Make sure to save it to each time SF, so if you do like it, you can keep it. Therefore, when you log out, you don't have to redo everything that you just did. So this one's pretty easy. ICT. Click on Settings, right here, the cogwheel, and then go to at the bottom right where it says My Tools. Click on each chart, click Apply, and then click OK. And then this cogwheel will pop up. This whole little bar will pop up when you hover over it. And you can add all kinds of stuff to it. You can add indicators. You can add... I like to use drawing tools on it because it's just easier to click to it than down here. Or remembering my hotkeys, which I'm never going to do. Carrie, your question can also be answered very easily. Click that cogwheel, click Snap Drawings to, and change it to OHLC. Normally it's on None. I've even seen some people's start at Bar Center. Make sure it's on OHLC, click Apply, and then click OK. But those are both easy questions. Good stuff, though. No, I'm not in NYC. I just do that little camera thing at the beginning because I thought it looked cool. It's like the NASDAQ building or something right there. I've actually had a couple followers say they live very close to there, and they said as a joke they would love to go in front of the camera and wave like a sign or something, which I'm not against someone doing. Just don't get hurt and don't waste your time. But that would be pretty funny for, like 20 seconds. But no, I'm not in New York City. Sadly not. I don't know if I'd survive the city, to be honest. The link is in the bio, another great deal. Link is in the bio of my YouTube. Maybe I will do it one day. New York City meetup. Imran, you're probably not that far off, to be honest. I'm kind of in the same boat. I think there is a small bounce in store for us, but I think what a lot of people misinterpret is that just because we had a couple red days and we're at support, that doesn't mean we have to have a gigantic green day today. We could have a very boring day today, and then tomorrow and Friday be the days that we rally or have a small bounce, or even a correction, a pullback. But I'm kind of in the same boat, Imran, because going into next week, that's the important news. Everything that's coming out this week really does not matter that much. Sometimes I'll go to the trade tab and I'll just kind of click at Jackson, or I'll do it on my phone. But Active Trader is very nice if you're just sitting there scalping. You'd survive. I may have to show you around for starters. Well, if I'm ever in New York City, Sandollar, I will make sure to hit up you and one. Make sure y'all keep me alive while I'm in NYC. Alright, guys, I'm going to invite Devin. I didn't even realize I was a little late. Let me get him in here. Whoever asked that, though, you'd be very surprised how many people use their phone to trade. How many big traders use their phone. You'd be very, very surprised. But it's actually a very common thing.
Yo, yo.
What's up, man?
Not too much.
Good morning.
Netflix getting a little excited as we're about to come to the open.
Only reason you bought a big screen phone? But let me know, guys. Market's open. How was the pre-market prep today? That is genuinely my favorite part of the stream. Of the entire 3 to 4 hour streams we have every day, the pre-market prep is definitely my favorite part. Not only because it gives you guys preparation, but it's just nice to be prepared, be a little aware of what's possible before the day starts. From bigger to smaller time frame, again, that's what I do every single day, every single morning, just to make sure we're all on the same page and we understand what is possible. You never see me checking random tickers. You never see me going off to the side. You always see me focused on the same exact thing every single morning, every single day. I have a very consistent routine. So should you. And yeah, SPY getting a nice pop at open. Nothing crazy yet, though. We're just bouncing off of this little area here. But good sign of strength at open. I would say Amazon and Meta are probably my favorite two today, just because of the tight range they're starting in. Apple also getting a little busy. Apple and Microsoft, remember, they were down in the trenches there in the pre-market lows, so they really do need to kind of recover back over their previous day closes for better move up, which Apple's breaking right now and Microsoft's very close to touching. Watch AMD outside of the 70-30s and above 71. You can watch above 71 for more. Below 69 towards 68 and 67.50. So couple pretty good watches in my opinion. Whoa, what the heck? Oh, there must have been a copyright song inside of that playlist. That's why it was like that. That was a little scary, I'm not gonna lie. That bursted my eardrum.
Ears are bleeding.
Thank you, Isaiah. Thank you for saying 10 out of 10. You were the only person who heard my question, I guess. Good morning, Yoel. Glad to have you in here, boss. How you doing? Trading on the phone is easier for something. No, big time. 100%.
Nothing moving too crazy on the open here.
I mean, you don't have to give me a rating. I was just asking how the pre-market prep was. Just saying, did y'all take anything away from it? You know, give me a 10 out of 10 all you want, but did you actually listen to what was said? Is more of what I'm asking.
It's everybody's top watch today. You got something to list? You got your own watch? What is everyone looking at? Amazon coming up to that pre-market high here.
And if there's a ticker in here you guys want me to go over more or, go back to, just say it. I'll go back to it. I'm here at y'all's will. Use me. Morning, Rowdy. Glad to have you in here. Didn't like the pre-market prep because I didn't go over AMC. Oh, Devin, were you here when I said Josh followed me?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that was
here last night.
Dude, that was freaking amazing. There's only one cooler Josh than me. Yeah. We both stream. We both like stocks. Both named Josh.
Well, I get a little bit more buyer action with Meta, Microsoft, and Amazon and Apple all moving up together. I like to see that. Netflix popping over that pre-market high, 308.
Good pop over 394 early morning. This is a very good bullish sign, but again, it's the first 10 minutes, so it's a little high risk to doing anything right now. But a good level is being broken, so that's good to see.
And then the Jets.
SPY still getting some buyers. Let's go check out some of the weights. All of these sectors were red before open. Now a lot of them are green now, so that's a good sign of strength from open. AMD is popping the 70-30s right now. Good sign for bulls. Tesla's above a good level. Apple's above a good level. Nvidia's above a good level. Amazon. Baba not so much. Baba's just still in range. There's nothing to do there yet. Netflix getting a good pop. Meta's outside of that very, very tight, compact pre-market range. They broke their yesterday's close. Remember what I said, yesterday's close, and a lot of these charts are actually giving really good entry spots. Google's still under it. Microsoft, so both Apple and Microsoft are over. That's a very good sign. And then I think I saw both Tesla and Amazon were both high. Yeah, they both were. So XLK and XOY are moving higher. That's a very good sign for bulls early morning. We need to also watch XLV. Healthcare is also moving higher. Good sign. Financials, we don't have any extra weakness. That's a good sign.
Ooh, could be a lagger here. Good. After this retest, watch for it to come back up over its pre-market high. Netflix moved up another dollar, almost at 309.50. Got about less than 2 minutes on this first 30-minute candle. Bot battled right at that pre-market high. did not wick down that much yet. It was looking pretty good. Amazon really getting some volume.
Again, guys, if we don't get the continuation higher, watch for previous day closes to hold as support for a good retest bounce if they don't just continue higher, which a lot of them seem to be just continuing higher. Tesla is still just trying to get back to its previous day close.
Apple's the first one to get a wick back down to pre-market high. See if that holds.
Yeah, let's see if Apple can hold this 142. It's a very strong level. If they can't hold that, that'll be a little concerning on that after that pump. Microsoft's still not over previous day close. Keep eyes on that. Check some of those charts. XLK up against resistance. XLV completely launched out of their area. XLY broke out. XLC's trying to break out. And banks are still in range. Dollar's still not losing their range down there either. They have pushed a little bit lower overnight, but nothing crazy yet from open. From this morning's equity market open. I have to keep an eye on that. Like I said, I'm most likely aiming for a small green day here. I really wouldn't expect anything crazy today, but if we get anything outside of that, awesome. Josh gang. Yes, Trading Fraternity Josh me. Sorry, I was just now reviewing the stream chat. Let's go. Swung a 10 before close. Up 10% thanks to that meta level you provided, 30%. Damn, good stuff, man. If you do trade in the first 10 minutes, it has to be a scalp. Took SPY 395, calls it open, wide bounce off demand, and now up 90%. Good stuff. I'm seeing a lot of you guys buying and scalping. Good stuff at open. Again, I recommend not trading the first 10 minutes. That is now up and over, so you guys can look for better trading opportunities now. Right now, I'd say shorts look a lot better until we pop over 395, so you should be short against 395 until proven otherwise. Good morning, Ruthane. Glad to have you in here again. All out of Amazon at 26%. Round of applause to you, Steven. Yeah, he is a really cool guy, Mies. Probably one of the few traders I ever pay attention. There's literally probably 5 traders on my hand that I ever even look up and review their info. I'm a very serious advocate when it comes to saying, don't look at too many people, don't pay attention to too many indicators, have a consistent plan, because what you're trying to do is limit the noise. Noise causes emotion, it causes friction, it causes psychological friction. So a really good way of doing that is cutting out as much noise as possible, having a consistent routine, knowing what kind of entries you like. Levels, you shouldn't be having different levels every day. You should change some of the smaller time frame ones, but your bigger time frame levels should never change, regardless of clearing your chart, restarting over. Sacked lunch. Check out workshop 11, but we look for 3 types of entry: a 40% entry, which is an open range breakout. We look for 80% entries with retest, or we look for buy the dip strategy. This is the only 3 entries I ever go over in here.
Get some nice red candles on Google and Tesla. Apple broke that 142 level and coming back down. It was almost back at pre-market high. Microsoft never got back over, coming back down to that yesterday low level. See if these retest hold.
Yeah, SPY perfectly testing previous day close right now to the cent, as you guys can see. Let's see if they can hold it or if they want to break back down, which will lead to a slower fade back down towards open most likely. By fade, I mean pullback. Apple said no. Morning, Oscar. Glad to have you in here, man. Expectation causes emotion. Exactly, Jeremy. Not feeling good today, so just being extra patient. And there you go. That's self-awareness, $10. You understand you're not really in the mood. You don't really like what we're looking at. That's great. That is a normal emotion. Stick to it. Don't trade. Be patient. Quick 20% on Microsoft shorts. Good job, October. Out of Tesla at 30%. Good job, Mel.
Netflix had a nice retest so far of its pre-market high. Let's see if they can come back up and get back over that previous intraday high.
Tesla and Apple pulled back. Keep eyes on Nvidia. 160s hold. That's bullish. The only thing to watch now is really SPY. SPY can continue holding here. Get a couple candles to sit here on support. Get a little bounce. That'll be very bullish. Like I said, if we break this level here, we're going to have a very slow pullback, probably down towards today's open. Meta trying to hold a very good level here at the 114s, 113.75s. So that's one thing we can look at if we do get a bounce. Neo is cracking lower under the 1230s. Keep eyes on that for downside. Not as much volume as I'd like to see, but really good push so far. Microsoft rejected perfectly, and Apple re-broke its yesterday's close, so those are both pulling back. Square's trying to pull back under today's open. And BA still getting a little bit of strength into that resistance. We'll see if a good short signal pops up here soon on that one. Yo, good stuff, Rambo. Good stuff, Kevin. And anybody here who's new, you're going to see these people taking profits on trades. That's because they're taking them on their own. They're not sitting here waiting for me to tell them what to do because they're not my puppet. They're leaders. We don't raise sheep in here. We raise leaders. Over time, you will also be at this spot, but give yourself time. Don't rush. Don't force. Don't chase. None of that. Focus on learning the levels. How are we getting these levels so well? How are we getting them every day? You should understand this. And if you don't, you need to watch workshop number 11. Like I said... Oh, keep going.
Tesla, Apple, Google kind of really selling now. Microsoft coming down to that pre-market low. Definitely looking weak on SPY here.
And good stuff. If anybody took my trade idea on being short as long as 395 does not hold, like I said, if we break this, we're probably going to get a slight pullback down to this today's open. You're watching 280s on Qs. Good watch. Let me add my Qs chart. Yeah, they're cracking a pretty good yesterday low right now and today's open. This is why I don't trade the first 10 minutes. You get these fake pumps. A lot of the time you get those drops into support and it makes you think you're bearish. And then you end up the opposite side. So Really good job catching those moves. And if for some of you guys who caught those upside moves, great work. I'm not downing you. I'm just pointing out how to be passive. There is, of course, a passive and aggressive way to take these trades.
It's coming down to that opening price.
Yeah, I thought that'd be slower, but yeah, they did it all in one candle.
Yep. Yeah, look at that Tesla candle. It's almost back at its opening price too, coming down to that pre-market low. Apple's almost at pre-market low. Google's at pre-market low. Trying to break it right now on Google.
And if anybody did take the shorts against 395, this is a great initial take profit spot because we've gotten back to today's open. This is the main pivot point. So this is where you should be taking initial profits or half of your profits or even most of them right here if you did take the short. Next thing you're looking at more for more downside is to break 392.60s, which will bring us down to this area here we have from the bigger time frame, but we still have pre-market low to worry about. So there's a pretty good amount of room underneath still. Dollar got a little bounce off those previous day lows. And yeah, since that SPY mention, I don't really like anything else yet. I'll be sure to mention anything if I see. Nothing else is really sticking out to me yet. Risk reward wise, that was really good risk reward because it was against a good resistance that I know is a very good break above. If we don't get past it, I know that we're going to be pulling back. So that has good risk reward because there's not much risk there. Looking for a long bounce at pre-market low, you're waiting. Got your course last night. Super pumped to get into it. Thanks for all you do for the community. Thank you, CT. I'm really happy to hear you got the course. And thank you all. I just noticed we just hit 100 likes on the stream. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you guys for doubling my goal. Y'all are the best. AMD slowed down on its retrace to open and warning to bounce. Good call out on TP there at today's open. Thank you, Leland. It means a lot coming from you. I just saw your day trade idea, Leland. Good stuff. He bagged almost 47%. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. He bagged almost 30% on most of his, on half of his position. And most of it, the rest of his position is pretty close to 47% on Amazon. Good call out, man.
Losing that opening price. Get yesterday low now. Amazon down at that yesterday low. Google moving below its pre-market low
now. You're the best, SK. Thank you. Just stop by to support real quick. Gonna go back to studying the BB course now. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you, June. I appreciate that. Kickstarted the course as well and getting better. Thanks for all you do. Man, you're awesome, KK. Out SPX 5%. Got in a little late. Waited to see more volume on the breakdown candle. Okay, so I see since you entered a little late, it was also good to exit a little early because you're a little late. Good awareness, Miggy. Most people would ignore that and be like, oh, I got time. But no, I think that was very smart of you. Might see a bounce of 392. Yeah, possibly, because we are still fighting this little area here. We haven't closed under yet. Not any crazy amount of volumes picked up. And we're actually getting a wick now. So unless we close under, this is actually going to look pretty good for a short-term bounce. But again, we're still in between today's open and this little range here. So nothing crazy. XLC is weak. Good call out. Yeah, and actually XLK is the weakest. XLY third weakest, and then I'd say, or second weakest, sorry, third weakest would be your comms. So yeah, comms, discretionary, which that's still in range. That's barely still in range, and comms are exiting range, trying to retest from underneath. So we got a couple different signals there from the top sectors, but all of them are leading towards the downside more than anything. So we need to wait till proven otherwise. Welcome everybody. We have over 200 viewers in here. Welcome each and every one of you. I appreciate y'all for being here. Be sure to go back to the beginning of the stream if you want to catch some of the pre-market prep, or actually make my entire watch list, as well as go over SPY on the bigger time frames, what scenarios are possible, and then we go down to the smaller time frames and break down the exact same thing. But welcome each and every one of you. Glad to have all of you here.
Amazon losing that yesterday low now, pre-market low right below.
Tesla is right at the pre-market low as well. So both of those looking like they want to head a little lower here in a minute if they get those extra low closes. Keep eyes on NVIDIA shorts as well, guys. If we get a further breakdown in the overall market, NVIDIA's actually set up very well. They've gone up, rejected 161s, popped under 159s, and now they're actually retesting, so possibly getting a slight bearish movement continuation towards today's open under 159, so keep an eye on that one. And it'll look really good too if everything else starts pulling back more. SPY though, still fighting this 392.60s. Let's check out this trade review by my friend Marente. So it said, Neo short scalp. Neo opened under the previous day low, which put me immediately bearish on it. I waited for the first 10 minutes to settle before making a move. Once it broke back under the previous day low, I entered off the two shooters that held below. Again, shooters are good small body candles with wicks on top. Take profit at the previous wick around 12.29 and fully out of the position at the previous low of day around 12.17. Stop loss was the wick of the first shooter. Very nice. Okay. So got in, had his take profit set at the lows basically. Very nice inside of the range retest, also rejecting from today's open. So very, very strong scalp there, Marente. Good job.
Got 2 minutes left on this first 30-minute candle, and SPY's trying to get back to that opening price.
Trying its best to give a short-term bounce here. Very indecisive candles on these last two here. I know that because we have small bodies and long legs on both sides. Yeah, Apple's not helping at all. Microsoft didn't even help to begin with at all either. They just rejected yesterday's close and just came back down. They look really good for more shorts too. Nvidia trying to break 159.
Netflix is really trying to hold its yesterday low. It's dipped under a couple times, but keeps coming right back above.
Andrew Bushi. The course is, and I'm repeating myself because I've already said this like 3 times this stream, but the course mainly covers everything we do. It has how we get our levels, how we trade, has all kinds of quiz questions all around it, and there's excess stuff in there too for swing trading, basics of options, and a couple other things. But it's a variety basically of everything we like to focus on. Nvidia held 159 to the downside. Pretty good probability we go at least retest today's open. If we break today's open, we're most likely going to go retest 156.79 and 156 here.
We got a new 30-minute candle opening lower. Google coming down. 95.50.
Perfect movement on SPY and Qs right as we were looking at Nvidia for shorts. That's a good sign. I'm kind of keeping my cursor here because if Nvidia can break previous day low, this will definitely go touch today's open, and we could take initial profits there.
Amazon and Apple still haven't broke their pre-market lows. They're trying to wick up off of them. Same with Microsoft.
SPY just wicked up.
Yep. Tesla broke pre-market low, but now it's wicking back up.
Getting a lot of bottom side wicks at previous day lows, pre-market lows, and today's opens.
Netflix coming off that pre-market or yesterday low towards that pre-market high again.
Yo, good gains, Daffy. I just saw what you had. All QQQ 33%, hit less than number 11 level. Thank you, BB. Good job, Steven. Again, that was all you, man. Don't thank me. Possible slowdown / reversal, JH. Now think about what a wick is. Let me go. What was that chart I was just on? QQQ. What is a wick, right? What does that mean? This is when price is pushed up to this point and pulled all the way back down. Again, showing potential seller strength up top. Vice versa for a bottom wick. That means we sold all the way to here and picked all the way back up. So we're basically looping. Price sold here, picked back up. showing some bullish pressure on the bottom side there, which is very normal when you approach support and vice versa when you approach resistance. SPY still defending the 392.60s very well, and a pretty good rising volume hammer here at support.
Google's got a huge wick after that pre-market low break.
All right, now October, what are you going to do differently this time? Now that you've taken some of your gains, you've taken some good trades, what are you about to go do?
Netflix back at that pre-market high. Now watch for it to take out that previous intraday high. Google retaking its pre-market low very nicely on this candle with increasing volume. Look for it to get back over yesterday low at 96.45. Microsoft finally getting some buyers coming in pretty quick. Back over yesterday low.
And yeah, October, into anybody who does make a trade, you don't have to be a member in the Discord to post a chart and your trade review. Come into here, post your chart, circle entry, circle exit, go over the thought process. Not only do the trade reviews in here give you a good format, click the pinned messages in here and go through this. There's like 50 pinned messages in here of very, very good broken down trades. Some of them have videos even. Some of them just break down why they liked it. Some just show their gains, give entry, exit, give some of their thought process. But literally, most trade reviews in my chat give you everything you need to see. They give you entry, they give you exit, they tell you everything they liked about it. They even give you a little bit more thought process in what they were looking at. So come in here, use these as an example. I would genuinely go through here and review as many as you can. There's 50 of them that are pinned, and there's thousands more that aren't pinned inside of this. Inside of this channel. But the thing to do next, October, and to anybody else listening, is to review your trade. You shouldn't be looking for another opportunity yet. You should go review what you just did. Then you can come back, have a little bit more reset of a mind, and possibly look for another one. But don't force anything. Have positional awareness. You've already made good, successful trades. There's no need to continue taking crazy, risky trades. You can take a more passive approach now. I just want to add on to that. Thank you, October, for letting me use you as a little example there. But great job. I'm very happy for your trades.
So far, this 10-minute on SPY has increasing buyer volume. See how this candle finishes up. Netflix still pushing higher over that pre-market high. Looking for that previous intraday high now.
Dude, I think Tesla's about to launch. It needs to break 176s, but this is a very good early indication on this candle. Nvidia re-invalidating that move to the downside. Stops hit on that. Amazon, watch over today's open. Meta holding very well in relation to everything else that just pulled back. Plus, I like their tight range they had. Google also producing the very strong reversal candle.
Netflix not far off the intraday high. Be a good spot to start scaling out.
Sitting on hands now after my trade. Unless I see a killer trade with great risk reward, there is no point in pressing it. I like how Jeremy said that. And yep, Mac, it gets the best of us, man. It really does. Just got to remind yourself of your routine, trying to be consistent with your routine. The more you stray away from it, the more pain you receive, and the more indecision you're going to have. Not only are you going to lose more, or let's say you even win, who cares, right? Win or loss doesn't matter. You're not going to appreciate it because it's not something you were ready for. You'll probably be happy you made money, but at the same time be like, man, I don't even know how I did that though. Versus, oh, okay, I took this win or I took this loss and I understand why. So it also is about that too. The reasoning is really everything.
Less than a minute on this 10-minute candle. Google's at that yesterday low now, trying to get back up over that. Impressive dip buy on this 10-minute candle on Google.
Good review though, Raul. Again, it's not easy to take a loss. It's not easy to go through the routine of the loss, taking the loss and then moving on, reviewing it, and without a biased manner trying to point out what you did wrong or what you could have maybe done better on for future opportunity. So, again, I'm really glad you reviewed it, but I really like what you said, no patience. 99% of people won't say that, Raul. 99% of people will ignore that they even did that trade. They'll be like, oh, I'll just fix it with this next one. But they don't. And there they entrench that habit of ignoring things like that. And those small losses will continue to add up a whole lot more than those gains. So good job taking the review, taking time to look back at it. Remind yourself, all right, what could I have done better? What can I do better for next time? But great review, though. I like how you said that. Yeah, for real, that lower high, right as you said that, Leland, then it starts selling off again. We have XOK still in range. Watch for it to leave for any bigger movement on tech. Healthcare did really good today. Discretionary still in range. That's your Tesla, Amazon, Nike, Home Depot, McDonald's sector. Comms, this is Google, Meta, Netflix. Financials. So a lot of them are actually still holding their range. A lot of our lower sectors are actually up. XOK is the concerning one. I'd say XOK and XLC are the concerning ones. XLY if they break that support. That one and XOK are kind of in the same spot. So we got a mix of sectors right now. Russia's Putin says threat of nuclear war is on the rise.
Oh, man.
Yeah, lots of wicks. That means we have a very indecisive market today, which, as I said in today's stream at the end of yesterday's, I said I would not be surprised to have an indecisive or kind of inside range day just because of what we've done on the bigger time frames. You go back out to the daily, it's going to be a little more clustered because I'm messing up my bigger time frame chart. But since we've already had this correction and pullback to a really good spot too, I mean, there's a lot of volume sitting here. I'm not really surprised to see this kind of weird, boring, just indecisive open just because of the positioning of the bigger time frame. This shouldn't surprise you either. So with that information, how should you adjust on your smaller time frame trading? It came out, Putin just said, we didn't speak about usage of nuclear weapons. So yeah, you're getting a lot of sideways reporting on that. I'm not really surprised. That's kind of been the case during the entirety of the Ukraine invasion. You'll get reports from Russian news media outlets. You'll get news from our media outlets. You'll get news from Ukraine media outlets. And you get just a bunch of indecisiveness that doesn't make any sense. No one knows what to actually think or know for a fact. So be very careful on all the reports you're reading. You are getting mixed reporting right now from American, Russian, and Ukrainian sources. Yo, good stuff, Jeremy. You did take your MDB play. Good stuff, man. I'm very happy to see that work out for you, mainly because you had that plan so early on this morning. Exactly, Teresa. Go light on trades. Being aware of the bigger time frames can help us be more aware on the smaller time frames. Way too volatile. Managed to scalp 8% on Amazon in the retest and 14% on that big wick down. Good stuff, Mies. I'm gonna chill until a better direction is established. Good stuff. I like that thinking. Alright, guys, this music's too low tone for me. Let's switch it up.
Get you some bangarang going.
Just that playlist is kind of putting me to sleep. I'm not even gonna lie. That is as well. I think this is the one I had on yesterday. Yeah, this was the one. I'm gonna pin your message, Miggy. Message of the day right there. Do not get caught up in these wicks. Be patient. And yeah, round of applause to anybody who has caught any scalps or any quick moves today. The only move I have officially confidently called out was the potential good shorts against 395. I haven't really liked much since then. I talked about a potential bounce here, but I would never have said just start buying calls here. And we do still look like we want to get a good pump going, but you have to note that there are a lot of wicks and volatile candles on this chart right now, so there is no clear direction yet. A lot of big weights are still holding supports too, so it's not like anything's crazy yet. You could say they got a little ugly there for a minute, but nothing crazy. Boeing finally breaking to the downside again with rising volume. We might actually have a single play here that has direction. Boeing actually trying to break good supports with good volume. So this might be headed down lower. Let's see what we have underneath. We have 171.80s, but I would generally put the 173.25 here because it's a good in-between level for a first target. But yeah, if everything cracks down lower, Boeing's in probably the best spot for further continuation down. NVIDIA right back to where it was. Just go back to SPY and wait. Super indecisive candles right here in the past 3 candles. Yeah, Tesla's still building up really good support there, Daffy. I like them from this candle. They haven't broken that candle. They haven't broken the low. So I'm pretty much bullish as long as 173.95 holds as support for Tesla. The things you need to see broken above, though, are today's open and 176. But yeah, it does look a tad explosive. Just be very careful. Nothing has direction yet.
About 10 seconds from this next 10-minute candle with a big indecision candle forming on SPY.
Yeah, that first 30-minute candle is a bit ugly. Make sure you guys call out what time frame when you guys say you have rising wedges or you see the 200 EMA holding on something. Make sure you type out what time frame you're looking at, just in case other people ask. Me, I won't ask. I'll just go look until I see what you mean. But other people, in case they want to know, be sure to type out what time frames you guys are looking at if you do type out an update in the YouTube chat, just to be a little more helpful, not just for others, but for yourself as well. For future reference, that'll be very helpful. So don't just say rising wedge, or don't just say 3-bar play. Don't just say, you know, breaking the. Say what time frame you're looking at as well. Thank you, Dylan. I'm not really attacking you. I've seen a few people do it now, and you did it, so it kind of made me want to say it now. I'll go down. No need to apologize. There's no need to apologize. I just want us to post in a more mature fashion, not just for others to learn, but for you guys to grow. Again, the higher standard you hold yourself to at a normal pace, that you're going to be at a higher standard. So good stuff. But good call out, Dylan and Andrew. I appreciate that. You don't even have to be you don't have to be an indicator trader to know that the 200 EMA is a good indication.
That's Kiana's favorite time frame to look on AMC. 69 minute.
SPY holding above VWAP on the 1, 3, 5, and 10-minute charts, but it's sketchy and mostly barcoding. Agree. But that's still very impressive. MU holding here looking at above 53.65. And yeah, my boy Callan, I think, posted that. Let me go see. Yeah, 53. He has retest and hold to 53.30s with targets at 54.32 and 54.55. So let me go see what he's looking at. Okay, so it's in the spot. He's basically looking for previous day lows to hold. If this can hold, he's looking for bounces. So it's right at that spot. He is joking. That is a complete joke. Yeah, maybe calm down on the joke. Some people might actually take that, and that's why I was a little concerned. But yeah, don't take that serious. He's just joking. Matter of time before SPY shoots to the high of day. If it's holding above VWAP, no entries as of yet until it decides. good watch, Daffy. I like your little potential bear flag you have there on the dollar on your, what is that? The 5 minute? Nice.
Google making new low a day. Tesla losing its pre-market low.
Q's rejecting today's open, possibly having a good 80% entry on tech stocks here to the downside. Apple also rejecting today's open. Nvidia short starting to finally work. A lot of things are still in a bit of a squeeze, but we do look like we have more downside than we do upside right now. We'll see though. SPY rejecting previous day close very well. Basically, you should be bearish as long as this level now holds. Kind of like the 395 situation. Should be short-term bearish until this top blue area breaks to the upside. Just because that's the previous day close. A very strong rejection pivot point. Good stuff, DX Mac. Scalp to test the break. Good call out, Curtis. It's not even really preference, Andrew. If I was to sit here and stare at the 2 minute, I'd probably confuse more people than I would help. So the 5 minute is a little bit more smooth to watch. But if you're scalping, the 2 minute, the 1 minute, the 3 minute, these are perfect. They're better than the 5 minute if you're scalping. The 5 minute's a little too slow. But I have seen amazing scalps in the 5 minute. I've done scalps in the 5 minute. You know, it's nothing impossible. But it's definitely a little easier because you don't have to hesitate as much or wait as long for certain moves. But it's not even really personal preference. This is just probably the most popular time frame to look at for stream, really. It's not too slow, it's not too fast. The signals are pretty clear. It's also about candle timing too. Like, let's say you're breaking a support and you have rising volume. Let's say it's the very beginning of that candle. Should you enter? Probably not. You should probably wait. Should you... Now, let's say it's the same situation, but the candle has got like 30 seconds left. Should you start to enter for your initial breakout? Yes, you should. So it's also about candle timing. But, you know, what's early to a 5 minute trader is on time for a 1 minute trader. So it is personal preference when it comes to actually choosing what's your favorite to look at.
Still just looking around, nothing confirming on the overall market yet.
Nice, Freshwater. You like to look for not really laggards, but things that aren't trading with confluence in the market. That's very nice. Hey, nice sack lunch. Very happy to hear about your day so far. Well, I'll see you later on, man. Have a great rest of your day. But I appreciate you joining in and adding in your 2 cents. Like I said, like I always say, I always appreciate everyone's opinions in here. In the chop zone and all the charts you're watching. Yeah, I'm kind of seeing the same too, Tim. Even though we are getting some nice bullish pressure here now, nothing's really given us direction yet. We need to pop over 395. Pop and hold over 395.
Alright, testing that 395 area. They just need the confirmation over. Looks like Microsoft and Apple coming up a little bit. XLM got over its pre-market high, coming up a little bit. B got over its pre-market high now. See yesterday high at 310.30 now.
Dude, almost every chart is just squeezing in between itself. That's it. Alright, back to 395s. You should be short against this level until we break over it. Yo, good stuff, John. Very happy to hear. Tiny gains or not, man, those stack up. Never down a tiny gain.
We're going Tesla weighing us down. They're both trying to move lower.
Honestly, I'm not saying any tech or semis really help. There's not a single one of these tickers doing anything. This is all the help of healthcare. This is the help of financials. This is the help of energy. And then all these bottom side sectors. We are not seeing tech, discretionary, or comms help us out in any form or fashion. This is everything else combined. So guys, do not be faked out. It's very easy to see once you stare at this sector watch list enough. This is why healthcare is always like the most slept on sector, which is okay if you don't trade tickers within the sector, but you should never ignore XLV. XLV is the second largest sector. It's also the least popular sector, so nobody ever pays attention to it. 90% of investors, including people who've been around the market for 10, 20 plus years, have not paid attention to this. Anytime we see XLK and XLY and XLC and even banks hold that support or even push lower, people always ask, why is SPY going up then? All those sectors are pushing. They're not the only sectors in SPY. There's 12 sectors in SPY, 11 classified, 1 uncategorized, but all of them move together, right? So if you have most of them going up and a couple of the big boys going down, you're going to have a little bit of indecision and possibly just slight green on SPY because you only have so many sectors that are going down. So you have to think about it as like a pie. All of them are together in the same pie.
Google and Tesla, new low a day.
So I'm pointing this out because a lot of people today are going to be asking, well, how is SPY holding up so well? Well, that's why. All of these side sectors are working very well together. It's all just a conglomerate, really. So start to look for weakness in these green sectors or for strength in the red sectors, and that'll give us better direction moving forward.
So far, the Fed against 395 is working out again. Take it down back towards that opening price.
Yeah, short-term take profit spot right here if you guys did take any shorts against 395. But like Devin said, opening price is going to be your farther out target. Again, guys, like I said, if we get any lag in the stream, be sure to just go back a couple seconds. And if it kicks you, just be sure to join back. We will still be live. I'm not going to end a 2-hour stream due to 5 minutes of lag. Just pointing it out again because YouTube has had some issues over the past couple weeks. Good stuff, Tim. Very happy to see you catching that scalp. Yeah, I figured you were in puts. It'd be a little wild. You were up 40% after that on calls. Good stuff, though, man. And be sure to share this stream to your friends and any other trader you guys are aware of. Be sure to share the streams each day. Every single stream is public. DX Mac took a Tesla scalp on that new low of day. Said Tesla low of day scalp, lower low and lower high in the 2-minute, 5-minute rejected open. We broke 174 on the 5-minute and the 2-minute, and they had volume increase. So a lot of really good indications. Him just kind of pointing out why he liked it. And then he said was only looking for a new low of day with market not picking direction. Again, him not trying to aim for a far target because he has awareness of the market. He understands nothing's really moving that far. So he really shouldn't aim for, you know, any crazy levels. So really good job taking your quick entry and exit on that scalp, DX Max. Solid job, man.
Netflix back down at yesterday low. That's a pretty volatile puppy today. See if it takes out that 302 level towards 300. Google about to crack 95.
Good job on the short position so far, everybody. Like I said, you could start trimming as you break into the blue zone, but if you want to aim for that farther target, that can be your final take profit spot. Until we see a new low made, that needs to be your target. But like I said, as you enter this blue zone, this could be where you start to scale out some of your profits if you did take another short position. As you guys can see, we've really only been catching range plays today. There's nothing outside of the range so far, and damn is this song loud. Let's jump ahead past it. There we go. $40 people forgot to hit the like button. Hey, I'm totally cool with it, man. If people want to support, they can. If they don't, on them as well. I'm just happy to be here. That's pretty funny, though. Thank you guys for over 150 likes. Seriously, I don't even have words to express how I feel about that. I mean, it just is amazing that we're even getting that many likes at all. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for continuing to support the streams. It definitely helps to keep the streams going. And I don't monetize these streams. Everything I do here on this channel is completely free. I don't do any of that crap. Mickey.
Microsoft and Meta holding up really well, while a couple of these other techs sell off. If we do start getting some more of that buying pressure come in, I do like those for the upside.
XLK, XLY, XLC still the only red sectors. XLY is holding a lot better now. No break of support yet, and so is XLK. Both of those are still just at bottom of support, nothing crazy. The only one to really exit range was XLC. And you're not seeing that reflect on SPY because you have all these other sectors working so well together today. Healthcare's up over 1%. They even hit 1.5% almost earlier.
We are looking for a play outside this range on SPY. It doesn't have to give it to us today. So really just have to be patient.
What's up, Sonny D? So glad to have you, man.
Amazon retaking that yesterday low again. Really trying to hold that support.
She's still around. I think she's just busy right now, Sonia. By the way, Sonia, DM me on Discord. I might have something that interests you. This is my bigger time frame chart, so some of your smaller time frame levels might not line up. I don't think I have it on that chart, on the daily levels chart, but on this chart, I'll show you what it is. 393.60. Whoops, that's the yearly, not the monthly. Should have color coded it. Oh, it's coming from over here. Hold up, it's on the daily probably. 393.60. And I'm just gonna go color coded. I can't see. This is why I don't normally do this to my charts. I like to keep them clean. Change it to green. 393.60. Alright, so 390. Alright, that's what I should have looked at. 393.60 is just a good support level that I had from this consolidation period. I just didn't get rid of it because it hasn't really invalidated yet. This is when we popped up above it from that CPI data, and then we sat above it, and we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 candles inside of this little range that we had here. But we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles, 9, 10, 11 candles, 12 candles sit on that 393.60. So that's why I have it like that. And normally I don't show you guys this chart on the smaller time frames. Normally we just watch this for the daily and I switch to the other one for the daily time frame levels. But this week I thought I'd try this out just to see how it goes. And I actually am liking it because it's giving me less levels. I have a bit better of an idea of where price action can go. But thank you for asking, because like I said before, if anybody has any questions on what level I'm using or where it's coming from, just ask. That's all you have to do. How do you draw the zones? All right, so I'm not even going to break into that. If you want to catch this, because I don't want to give you a short answer and then you only pick up some of it. If you really want to answer that question, you need to scroll down to my channel. Go to how to chart supply and demand zones. Not only do I go over the bigger time frame, I cover the smaller time frame. But sometimes on the smaller time frame, when you see me drawing these blue zones, it's not a zone. I'm just drawing it because it's a combination of levels that I want to look beyond. So it's not always about supply and demand. Sometimes I am just highlighting for people to see something better.
Getting a little more buyers coming in as Microsoft's coming back up towards that pre-market high. Amazon coming back up after holding that yesterday low again. Netflix back at pre-market high after that yesterday low test. And Netflix coming back up to that pre-market low. Not Netflix, Tesla. My bad.
You're like, Tesla's breaking its pre-market high, and then you were like, Netflix is touching its pre-market low.
I have items switch back and forth.
No, you're
Switch
good.
to brain fart.
Brain farts are definitely consistent.
I was looking at both the charts at the same time.
My eyes started crossing. That's funny.
People coming back up. We got a nice buyer candle off of 95. That seems to be the most down out of all the big tech.
We get a third rejection of 395 here. That's going to be a problem for bulls. No problem, Jay. Yeah, I just didn't want to give you a short answer and then it still not make sense to you. So I wanted to give you that so you could be like, okay, well, and it's something to go back to. You can always review that video. I put a lot of work into that video just because that's a very highly requested question. Is, how do you draw zones, or how do you getting your zones, or how are you doing this? I don't use zones as heavily as most people do. I just kind of focus on the recent ones, but I also like using my chart sets. So like on NVIDIA or even Boeing, I have an entire set just for zones, which I think I need to update this one a little bit. But I've had these drawn since like way back here. I was starting to practice them again and really get a good system down. And I like this system that I have. Again, if you follow that video, you'll understand what I mean. But I actually give you consistent rules instead of saying, oh, just find a bunch of resistances and throw a colored box up on your screen. No, I like to actually give you consistent rules on what to follow and how to keep getting those same zones from where, how to draw them, all that good stuff. SPY trying to break 395 for the third time. Let's see if they're successful or not.
Yeah, Amazon coming up to its pre-market high now. Microsoft at that pre-market high. Apple at that yesterday low, trying to get back over that. Google almost back at that pre-market low. We'd like to see it retake that. And Tesla retook its pre-market low, holding above, looking decent on that. Netflix is currently trying to get back over that 307 right now at that pre-market high area.
Honestly, we've had really low volume on SPY across the past 8 candles. On the 5 minute. So the past 40 minutes has been pretty low volume. Let's see if it happens here. Third time's the charm. Good stuff, Tim Nation. Again, guys, my socials are at the top of your screen. Bueller Trading on Instagram and Twitter. And if you want to join the Discord, just click on the link in the bio of the YouTube. Should also be a course link there. But honestly, if you guys, and I'm not saying this for like subscriptions or anything, but I'm not joking. The basic membership in my chat is $35 a month. That's by far one of the cheapest you'll ever see in any community, and I'm going to keep it that way. But the big thing is that when you get basic membership, you get a lot of really, really good resources. We have an entire section on anything you can think of. We have an entire educational section. There are signals, but that's not our main focus. Our main focus is giving reasoning, giving factual, evidence on what to look for, what are indications of bulls, what are indications of bears. I really would check out the Discord. There's a half-off code in the announcements channel if you scroll up a little bit. But I would seriously take advantage of that while that code is still active. There's an insane amount of educational content in my Discord, and it's really not that hard to go back and just kind of review it. And there's a ton of info. It's crazy.
Microsoft testing that pre-market intraday high. See if we can get over.
Jesus, Devin, I just saw what you sent.
It's a little scalpy scalp.
You may share that or no?
Oh, I was just showing you. It don't really matter.
Dude, that's clean. Good stuff, man. Elon Musk has officially lost the title of the richest person in the world to the Bernard Arnault and family. We have finally seen a change of hands.
How they did.
Which, if you guys remember this guy, he was like the richest for like an entire day. But he popped up very quickly. Of course, Jeff and Warren still here. Zuckerberg nowhere in sight. I thought that was crazy. That literally just happened.
How does that work on like some of those oil families? Technically, aren't they?
I'm not getting into that. That's a deep conversation.
Yeah.
In short, though, I would think it's because it's split up so much.
Back at that pre-market low, looking for it to take that. Microsoft holding at that near high intraday. Amazon still right at that pre-market high. Gonna need all these to break these levels to continue this little pump over 395 on SPY.
I didn't see my name on the list, B. Get it up there, man. Get your name on that list.
By 10 minutes, getting some slightly increasing buyer volume with quite a bit of time left, so we'll see how this finishes up.
You thinking a wick down?
Potentially, if these don't, like, Microsoft and Amazon don't start moving a little bit higher, Meta's right at its level, yeah, we could potentially just reject here. But if these pop these levels with all the other sectors, it could give us a little pump because XLV is still holding up.
XLC started doing really good on that recent pump.
XLK is finally getting a little bit of green candle coming up, so we'll see.
Yeah, those weak sectors are finally popping up a little bit. And the other thing to keep on watch, guys, is the sectors that were up, for those to continue staying up or at least holding a decent support, which most of them are still. The only one that's really pulling back is energy. But yeah, good stabilization in price a little bit. I would be short at 395 breaks again, but it's very risky up here considering we have had some sectors recover a little bit better and some others hold really well, so.
Was trying to retake that pre-market low, looking pretty good. Amazon cracking that pre-market high just by a little bit, looking for some more volume.
I just found another fake Bueller. I've probably banned personally 15 plus fake Buellers this week.
Oh, it's only gonna get worse.
This is insane.
Did you see PJ what he posted on his Twitter?
No, I didn't pay attention.
It was like 4 pages of fake PJs.
Yeah, if I have it that bad, those guys have it 10 times worse. I'm not even that known yet. This is insane. But just for another warning, everybody, and I have this in announcements channel as well. I'll scroll up and show you. Where am I at? Here I am. So in light of recent fraudulent activity amongst our Discord, I would like to get this point across, both paid and non-paid members, that myself, the other owner John, and our mods will not ever reach out to you via DM and ask to trade for you or anything related to money. This isn't the first, second, or fifth time we've seen something similar, and we believe scams will continue to be an issue as we are doing our best to make sure members are aware of this. If any private messages come out as a red flag, it probably is. So just a reminder, there are a ton of fake bees out there. Please do not fall victim to any of their bullshit little scams. Y'all are a lot smarter than the average bear, so I believe in y'all. Higher the YouTube viewing count, higher the Bueller imposter count. The dude, literally, it's insane. I used to only get probably like a few every other week. I'm getting like 10 plus. I mean, I feel like me personally, I have banned 15 fake Buellers this week, and I know my mods for a fact have banned a few others. So yeah, there's been a pretty crazy amount. Their whole thing is to join the Discord, add as many people as they can ASAP before they get banned, and then they try to message everybody who accepts their friend request or even just opens their DM, and then that's when they start their little charade.
Got about 10 seconds left on this 10 and 30 minute candle as we're at this 395 level. Nothing else is really broken above and held so far. So we'll see what we get.
Yeah, really good hold of 395. What we need to look for now is for a continuation in strength on some of these sectors like XLC, XLY, and XLK, and you want to see continued strength of what they've already done on XLV, which they're doing very well, XLF, and the rest of the sectors like I just covered, which all of those are actually producing green movement right now, so that's good. You just got a friend. Yeah, I mean, and Miggy, you especially, like people who've already messaged me, it should be very instant that you understand you're not talking to the real Bueller when you don't have message history with him, but you know you've talked to me before. I don't have another account. This is my only Discord account. Volume is super low, Raul, and that's why this isn't that high probability of a breakout so far. They have pushed 395, which is a great level, but very, very low volume. We still have a lot of wicks on top, and we have had decent sector recovery, so that's one good thing to note. I mean, every sector is almost green now. We have three of them that are basically flat. The rest of them are relatively just slightly green. Healthcare is really the only true green sector right now. They've moved so well. And just to show you all the lifetime section like I did the other day, except today I didn't show you the beforehand because I didn't want to give out free value. But Amazon, he posted above 88.72 or below 87.90s. He ended up getting Amazon today, got some really good gains on it. Good job, Leland. Also posted how you could have traded Tesla, and he also traded it himself. He's watching Apple right now. He's in light for a 40% entry, 142 target. He trimmed 15%. Last contract stopped out at break even. So really good plays by Leland today so far out of this morning gate with a lot of indecisiveness. Good job, Leland. Round of applause to him. 395 is just the pre-market high. I'm sure it goes over to the far left to another important level. This is just where I grabbed it today, though. Is the pre-market high, the true pre-market high. Pre-market started about right here. Traded up, got a little bit of a gap up, closed lower. So that's why I have it there. Good call out, Andrew. SPY is holding with low volume, so not high probability for increased movement, but it's not impossible just because they have pushed over a good level, and there's a little bit of room above them to 396.30. So that's probably where they're going to go, but with low volume, it definitely makes it a little bit lower probability of a move. Plus, this is just the open range breakout. We haven't really had a good test of this level to hold, which if that was to happen right now, it'd probably break just because there's not much volume here.
Google gets some buyers over that pre-market low, and I just got to retake that yesterday low. It's still the laggard compared to most big tech.
XOK, XOY, XLC all at resistance right now. They're needing to push and hold over for better increased bullish movement. And a lot of those sectors that we're pushing higher are hitting resistance or slowing down. So be very careful, guys, of a potential pullback until proven otherwise.
Some Wix on Google, Microsoft coming back down, Amazon rejecting the pre-market high. SPY starting to lose 395.
Really good volume too. Looks like SPY shorts under 395 are going to be working again. We do have continued weakness in XLK, XLY, XLC. And like I said just a few moments ago, we had a lot of those sectors that were helping us go up, slowing down or at resistance. So it's not like they're going to be able to help us out enough now. So yeah, pretty easy to see that a pullback is coming, at least under 395. Will it get continued strength though to the downside? That is unanswered. But so far it's looking like it with all those sectors that were green slowing down, and the ones that weren't green are even more red now. They're coming back down.
So I'm leading the way down. It's at yesterday low now. And Google getting a nice lick. Cash is position, man. Good stuff, man. like your setups, that's the best way to do it.
What's up, Kevin? And yeah, good stuff, Min. I really like your maturity in that message. Not just saying, you know, I'm not training today, this sucks. Like, actually giving a good reason, making it make sense. So I appreciate that, not pouting like a kid. Good stuff, man. And thank you guys for dropping a like on the stream. I appreciate each and every one of you. Seriously, thank you guys. It really does mean a lot to be able to stream to really whatever amount of people. I don't care if it's 17 or 170 or 1,700 people. Just glad to be here. Price most likely wanted to test that 393.80, 394 area. First rejection led to testing the 392.60s. Second rejection led to testing a higher low, well above today's open. Let's see where this third rejection wants to retest and try to hold.
XOM broke that yesterday low, moving lower towards the pre-market low. Tesla back at pre-market low. Apple rejected that yesterday low. Amazon rejected pre-market high, coming back towards opening price and yesterday low. Man, it really hasn't done too much all day. Really tight. I could get those gains.
Sandollar, is this actually you in all these pictures you always send? Be sure to DM me as well, Sonia. But have a great day. Thank you for coming in here and adding in your 2 cents. Appreciate you. Sherman said 393.80, 394 would make sense for the rejection. VWAP right there, and it'll be below 90 made across above 2, plus that higher low. Good eye, good eye. Now you're good, Sandollar. I was curious. I just replied to you because I swear every picture you sent me has been different, but every time it's like a different country or a different means of transportation. Like I swear you were on a boat one picture, the next play you're up in the air in a plane. Next picture you're in like Russia, next picture you're in like a different country. So I just thought that was kind of funny. It's like you have a picture of yourself in every country, in every vehicle. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'll hit the algos real quick, Leland.
I don't think it does October, Danielle, but I do cover that in the streams basically every day, and I think I do have a video on that. See ya, Sonia. I didn't get a message from her, so I don't know who she messaged. Yo, Sergey? That's what's up. Yeah, Sergey looks like a beast. He's got that walkie-talkie in his pocket.
Amazon's almost at that yesterday low now.
Subway in Kazan, the heart of Russia, largest industrial city in Russia. Jesus. But October, what are some things you're wanting to look over? I mainly chart all of them using the TA routine, that normal charting method I use. I normally chart all of them on the weekly, and then I just kind of watch them on the smaller time frames with the shorter time frame levels to help me kind of just gauge their movement. Today is a great example. Today you saw me basically break down how XLK, XOY, and XLC have extra weakness while everything else was trying to push higher, kind of giving that discrepancy on SPY. You know, it might not feel like we were moving higher, but we did. And that's because of that large majority of SPY moving higher, but not with the majority of the popular tickers like XOK, XOY, XLC. Which every time I go over them as well, I say what sector they are, what tickers belong to them. So if you've reviewed any of the streams or been in here in some of the streams, you've definitely heard me cover them a couple times. Good morning, Jonas. Glad to have you in here, man. The man that doesn't sleep. What's up, Jonas? Took a trade and then spent the remaining time typing it up. Here, I'll look at it. Oh, I see what you mean. Let me do this. There we go. So trade review 2022, December 8th. Same day, 392 puts, 3 contracts. Daily levels drawn yesterday were still valid. Yellow line. And good job pointing that out, because sometimes you go across the charts and you realize, like, wow, nothing really changed. You know, the levels are still there. They're still, you know, very relevant. Not really much to change. And that's also a good feeling. You don't have to maintenance as much. But also, good job numbering these. This looks like an official little course I'm looking at. So good job on that. But SPY opened below previous day close and pumped above previous day close. First 5 minutes with parabolic increase in price. Started to look at 395 to 395.40 level for puts with following reasoning. Area of midday consolidation yesterday and level at which price broke down to lower levels. It's the yellow circle over here. And then he said, closing price of several days on daily from the past 2 weeks. White arrows, so you can see all that. Yesterday it closed under, finally, signaling a possible support over resistance, red arrow. Today it opened below, so any pump will test this area before any move upwards. Good visualization, again, from the bigger to the smaller time frames. That's not easy to do. It takes time. When price reached 395 zone, price increase was slowing, and on the 1 minute time frame it rejected with volume. Entered at 394.90 for 3 contracts, near end of the 5 minute candle at about 938. predetermined risk stop loss was at 395.50. Targets were 10% on the first contract, then 394, and then 390.50. So he's giving himself 3 targets for his 3 contracts. Great work. Targets and stop loss tight, sense aggressive entry in first 10 to 15 minutes of day. So he also has positional awareness. He understands he's entering a little early. He understands that the thing he may be getting into is a little risky just because it's so early on in the day and it's just super volatile. But he had good reasoning on why. He liked the positioning. He liked what we were rejecting. He liked what we were under. And he set up a plan. He set stop loss right above that 395 at the 395.50 spot, giving himself a good room, but also good reward too, back down towards today's open, which is his about basically where his last take profit is going towards that today's open. So that was really good. Trade assessment overall, he averaged about 22, almost 23% on the 3 contracts. Risk reward was 1 to 2, not bad. Aggressiveness high. Profit taking followed predetermined plan. Stop loss followed predetermined plan, and overall trade satisfaction high. I like this, man. I'm gonna save this. Where are my pictures? Here they are. I'm going to save that. I like this a lot right here, what you did on the number 4. That's beautiful. This is a beautiful trade view. I can't stop looking at it. Yo, Pops, we officially have someone older than you in chat. I won't name names, but you're no longer officially the oldest person in my chat. Now you're second. At least from my knowledge. Good stuff though, Jonas. Let's get a round of applause for Jonas VEGF. Beautiful trade review, man. Now the stream's getting lag. Right as Spy is falling off a cliff.
Yeah, Amazon's breaking that yesterday low again. Apple almost at pre-market low. XOM moving lower under yesterday low. Tesla broke pre-market low. Meta finally getting a move down. Looks like it's about to exit out of that range it's been on intraday. Go towards pre-market low. That's the 3rd time that it's been a nice little short against 395 today for the group. Nice. Almost back down to that opening price on SPY. Great time to size out, scale out, take all the profits, leave a runner. But with the range trading day we have, wouldn't be surprised to catch support somewhere between here and 392.50. Tesla losing that pre-market low with some volume. Rambo trying to get those Rambo gains.
The oldest in chat, I think, is now 60. Pops is 53. He was the oldest. Somebody 7 years older than him entered the chat. Again, not naming names, I'm just saying what the age is. Good stuff, Anton. Good job, Rambo. Good job, anybody who caught shorts on that. I was pretty confident in that short position way up here just because of all the sectors. I mean, the sector analysis really gave me the confidence behind that. It wasn't even really SPY's TA by itself. Oh, you're 62, Steve? If you're not joking, you're the oldest then. Oh, Master Dream's 68. Never mind, he's the oldest. Okay,
we just never asked.
I mean, I've asked before. I've just never seen that answer. That's how I knew Pops was, or what I thought was the oldest.
I'm still trying to be scalping the market when I'm 68.
All right, guys, take your initial profits here, guys. That was a very beautiful drop.
Apple's at that pre-market low now. Microsoft's at that yesterday low, and then it's got pre-market low underneath still.
Who all caught shorts from my mention, though? I really want to see who's listening and who's not, who's really catching these plays, or who's just visualizing. It's totally fine if you didn't catch a play. But I like that one a lot. Again.
Show this. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, again, the main reasoning on why we like this very early on is because we had a weak push, but it was because all the sectors that were turning green were going back to red, and the sectors that were green are pulling back. You can see we're kind of half and half in the green and red mixture now. Again, I'm not looking for a pat on the back. I'm not looking for people to, you know, say I'm the greatest or anything like. I don't care about any credibility or anything like that. I am just showing you guys why we were so confident in shorts going down. First time didn't really show that. Second time didn't really show that. Third time was very, very, very easy to see that. So I would genuinely take today as a review to go back and really, when on demand pops up, I would go back and I'd watch these sectors again and just kind of pay attention to it again until you get that feel for it, that intuition on, okay, well, these are weakening, these are dropping, these aren't, these are strengthening. And really, really kind of add them together because they work together. If all of these are going up, guess what SPY's doing? Going up. If all of these are going down, guess what SPY's doing? Going down. If half of these are red and half of these are green, you have to really break down what's doing what at a certain time to really understand what are we possibly going to do. And right there, we saw a lot of the heavier weights start to slow down or even reverse back into the red. And we saw a lot of the weights that weren't as strong, but were holding us up together, pulling back or at resistance. So again, giving us early indication that we're probably getting a pullback. And then adding that to our TA, going over to our SPY chart. What level were we looking under? We've already rejected once at 395, a second time at 395. So if we have this weak push and we have this very easy to see signal popping up, which I say very easy, but it's only easy after you look at it enough times. Then it pops up again for a third time. So even though we've had a boring kind of range trade day, and I say boring with quotations around it, because that's not boring, we end up getting a third rejection again. So we still get really, really good trading opportunities regardless of what kind of day we're having. And again, I don't care if you guys took a trade on it and made gains on it. I'm just happy to see if you visualized it, if you actually picked up on what I was putting down. I'm not one to really care about gains. Anybody can share off gains. Anybody can make up fake gains and share it. But the real ones are going to be able to explain things. The real ones are going to be able to break down reasoning. The real ones are going to be able to give you some understanding on their insight, on what they were looking at, on why they liked it, why they didn't like it. That's how you pick out a real trader or not. It's not by their gains. It's not by their losses. It's by how they speak. How they say things. How they come about their trades. How they come about breaking things down. It's very easy to tell if you're talking to a real trader or not. I visualized it, would have sold at 394 at my first target. If I had runners, I'm using 90 EMA current to open, whichever hits first. Well, good job. Do you teach the breakdown of SPY in the sectors that correlate with it in the BB course? A lot of those breakdowns are in my Discord, so that's why it's not in my course. I think I even have a video on my channel, and a lot of my breakdowns happen here on stream for the sectors, just because it's not really easy to say just go back and review it, because you're not going to see that movement at the same time. You really learn from it as you see it move. Like right now, today's stream, I'd say this is a beautiful stream to go back and really review how I was breaking down the sectors. But a lot of that's taught in my Discord, Josh Powers. I think I even have it broken down here. Go down to the EDU section. I think it's in keys. Yeah, sectors of the market. I have both of them, actually. I updated one because Burhan fixed my... I messed up one thing in this. I think I mistyped something. But he fixed it, and we have it here. Or not really messed up something. I think I added on something from what he said. But yeah, definitely worth checking this out. Swing trades, trade plans, ETFs, all that good stuff. I've been posting on this channel for how long? My first post in here was in
Microsoft,
2020. No, you're good.
Microsoft losing that yesterday low. Apple's at pre-market low. Tesla's still moving down. Amazon not too far from that pre-market low. And Berkby's coming down towards yesterday low. SPY's at this opening price.
Good stuff, Rambo. Good job moving your stop so you're not in as much risk anymore. Very, very smart. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. And it's just like I said, we get bounces off support, rejections off resistance, and we're just stuck in ranges. We're approaching a major support, not just from a trend line, but also from price action where we've pushed up, rejected, and then held on top of. We're just kind of holding inside of that tiny, tiny, tiny range. When did I start the Discord? Actually, I think you can see it here. It should be around that date. Actually, it's probably when he did it, because he's, yeah, March 14th, 2019. Which I think the first ever message in this chat is the disclaimer message. Yeah, so like March 17th, March 14th, 2019. So pretty decent amount of time. Not super long, though. We still some youngins. Yeah, it's been a minute, I guess you could say. It's been a while. It's almost, actually, it's closer to 4 years than it is 3. For the longest time, I didn't stream publicly, though. I've been streaming for most of that time, too. I would always stream in the Discord, or I would do private streams on YouTube for just members and stuff. Then I started opening up to selling it to other servers, and then I was like, you know what, screw this. You know, screw the money of selling to other servers. I'd rather just stream publicly for free and have people either join the Discord and engage for free, or, you know, whatever. Or just be here and have fun. Looks like a lot of you guys do enjoy the streams, and I enjoy them a lot too. It's kind of nice to just kind of cover things, not really focused on, you know, anything crazy. Just really focused on the same stuff every day. Talk about SPY on the smaller and bigger time frame all the time at the beginning and end of every stream. We sit here and just basically focus on SPY. I try to break down the sectors as best as I can as I see it. Devin does a really good job of covering the weights of the market as well. He'll cover, all the tickers we like to look at, but it's really just nice to kind of break down what's possibly happening. We don't really like to sit here and say, oh, we're for sure dropping or we're for sure rising. But yeah. Pretty good day so far. Even though it's been kind of just stuck in range, it's still been very nice to see some of this price action. The sector, I would say that sector analysis today was definitely my favorite part so far. Because even though it feels like we haven't done anything, I feel progression just because of that. Yes, I surely remember when I first joined in the streams are definitely an added resource that helps a lot. Well, good to hear, Pops. I'm really happy to hear that too from you, just because you have been here for a very, very long time. What? Screw the holidays. But what is one thing you guys could say you've taken away from the streams? What is one thing you could say you've learned from the streams or from me and Devin covering different things? What is one thing you guys have learned from us? And then what is one thing that you see you can learn that you want to work on? Let me know in the YouTube chat. Yeah, be sure to review, Steve. Don't take another trade if you're not going to review. Take your time, sit on your hands, relax, calm down. Patience. Very happy to hear that, Daffy. Levels, levels, levels. You know me, Clive. You know me too well. That I don't know enough and need to take the BB course. Hey, man, we're all in that same boat. Not really with the BB course part, but with always needing to learn. It doesn't matter if I've been in this market for 5 years. It doesn't matter if I've been in this market for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. You are always going to be learning. This isn't like basketball where you start to get a really good shot or you're really good at dribbling or you get a really good warm-up. You could take a break for a week, come back, and just be as good, right? But in the stock market, it is not like that at all. You can't just take a break and assume that you'll come back and it can do the exact same thing and you'll be good. No, things will be a little bit different. So it is definitely more of an adjustment in between, but overall, you have to be forever adjusting because this is a forever changing market. Wait for the setups. That's a good one. Never used to plot yesterday's open and yesterday's close and intraday open after the first 10 minutes. And yeah, those can, and not every day. You know, some days you'll just see them be kind of just out there, not really ever tested or anything, but a lot of the time they are very strong pivot points. The streams always help me understand price action more and what to look for and how to realize the levels. Awesome. And it definitely comes with time. Too many times I see people ask me, you know, how do you navigate between levels so well? And it's not because I have any extra skill or any extra brain cells than you guys. I have the same amount. If not, I'm even dumber. But overall, it's because I have consistency. I have a routine. I understand that I've been looking at this for a long time. I should have some skill at navigating these levels by now. And that's because it takes time. So don't ever rush yourself. Give yourself time. Especially if you're someone who's had some hits and you're coming back into the market and you're just trying to reset and really kind of build some support for yourself to move higher, then do that. You know, over time, it's going to happen. But over time, again, remember, underline time. Takes a lot of time. My time trade is over $500 done here. What's up, Mel? Good stuff. Learning to stop trading and doing immediate reviews, very helpful. I reviewed and paper traded the rest of today. Oh, good stuff, October. I'm very happy to hear that. And I always like to use Sylvia as an example. She'd be really good at taking initial trades and winning and stuff, or even losing and whatever, but she wouldn't just keep trading her real account. She'd switch over to mental trading or paper trading, and therefore she could continue feeding her hunger of wanting to trade, but also not putting herself at risk. Therefore, she's still learning passively. So really good job. I expect your numbers to increase daily. Great streams. Appreciate that, Steve. And if they don't, who cares? I'm glad to have what I have. Levels actually work. Trade analysis. That's a good quick one, Teresa. I like that. The level of poise and discernment is appreciated. Can you please talk about QQQ? Yeah, we can. What do you want to know? It's a very vague question. And we actually have covered QQQ to some extent today. Anytime you see me clicking XOK, that's essentially a more direct QQQ. I'm basically looking at just tech stocks by looking at XOK. QQQ is not just tech stocks. It has tech, it has comms, it has discretionary in here. It has all kinds of sectors in it. So it's not just tech. There's a lot more than just tech inside of there. But overall, they're just like SPY today. They've been kind of fighting around their previous day low. Today's open. They haven't even really touched their pre-market lows, which we saw SPY do for a second. Or no, they didn't either. They had that lower dip, I forgot. But you saw them go down to their pre-market low. You've seen the same rejections. You know, we've been doing 395s on SPY. The 395 on SPY, but for Qs is 282. You know, but they haven't even pulled up a second time to this in the middle here. They had that third hit way up here, whereas SPY had that first, second, and third go slightly above and back below. So it's in sync with the market. There's really nothing to look at Qs-wise. It's literally just like SPY, and that's why I really haven't mentioned anything extra, because we're just in range. We're in the same exact seat. Which is why today has been more focused on covering sectors, just because this has been kind of our leading indicator on what's possible today. Q's bigger time frame, though, as you can see, they are holding up pretty well. It's kind of like SPY, where they're after that CPI pump, they're kind of against that support. You can see Qs are doing the exact same thing. They're kind of fighting that bigger time frame support still. So until this breaks, you're not going to get any further moves to the downside. If anything, risk reward is here for longs until the support breaks. So it's really focusing on this little blue area here. Basically the low of today, really. But yeah, not much more I can cover on that, just because it's just inside of the range. You know, it's nothing we can do about it. And like I said, that's why today has been more focused on covering sectors, how they're moving together, what's possible. HYG, what's up, Dream? I haven't seen you in a while, man. Hope you've been doing good. Very glad to have you in here. I was getting a little worried, honestly. I didn't know where you were. What's up, Freedom? How you doing? AMD for a possible put swing. I haven't gone over any swings today. Not yet, at least. Which this does look good, but they really do need to maintain under not just this level here at 71, but it's really kind of a combination. Oh, come on. Of 71 and that candle. So they need to reject this, which so far they're doing that today. But end of day, you're going to want to pay attention to that. But more or less, you're going to want to pay attention to SPY, because if we end up getting a good bounce tomorrow, which I said this today, or about this yesterday evening as well as today, today's open was everything. You know, the same story is for tomorrow because of the indecisive candle. Let's say today ends just like this. This is a very easy trade plan going into tomorrow, because I know that if tomorrow we get a lower open, I can look for puts to support, right? I know if we get a higher open, we can get a good pump into resistance. So we're in a big 50-50 spot right here. So that's why you're getting a lot more indecision and price action right now. So for AMD, I would wait a little bit just until you get better confirmation on SPY overall. But if you want to also watch AMD, watch SOXX, SMH, even SOXS is really good for watching in sync with AMD and NVIDIA and TXN and any other semiconductor you like to look at. I think, what's his name, literally just linked me AVGO as well. Daffy, he just linked me AVGO. So there's a bunch of them you can look at. But no serious direction yet. And I don't really have any passive swing ideas. I did talk about BA to the downside. That just got a little bit of movement, nothing crazy. I still like McDonald's as long as it holds under 275, basically. UNH was another one we looked at. We're looking at this one to possibly pull back up to resistance, so we can look for another short swing on that one. What were some other ones we looked at? There were a ton. Baba is another one I like. Basically, I was watching for it to break under this. We ended up getting a gap down and a bounce off support, so gonna probably have to wait a little bit longer for another push up back into resistance, but I do like Baba for short term. Nothing crazy, because they basically popped up and they didn't really give us a good signal to enter early, so we didn't do anything early. And now that we've gapped down and at support, I have to wait for this support now, or for a better weak push up, and then we can enter another early swing there. What was one that I just took? Netflix was one I took 2 days ago. Y'all saw me take profits yesterday morning. This is an early entry. We saw it rejecting the 325 still, which isn't the top of the gap. The top of the gap's at like 331. Yeah, right there. 330, 331. But I like the fact we had an inside candle and rejecting resistance, and it didn't have a crazy amount of volume, which is my big preference. I love having big volume on candles that have really big wicks on top, but this was just kind of an early signal for me. We ended up taking profits into the next morning, and since then, no new play on that. But it looks like this is setting up just like SPY, where if this candle was to close like this, tomorrow for Netflix, I can just focus on a lower open or a higher open, and we can play that direction. So I'm very happy to see when those work out. So SPY and Netflix, you'll probably see me have as a top watch tomorrow, just because of that. But anytime you see those long-legged dojis or hammers on a daily chart, tag me. Those are the most beautiful candles on a daily chart. I do still like BA to the downside, but the risk reward is not there as much as it was yesterday. Because yesterday we broke into this range and we're at the top of it. Now that we've gapped down, we're kind of in the middle of the range again. We're like 50-50, and you don't want to trade inside of ranges with swings, because if you don't have time, your contract's going to eat itself alive. And two, even if you do have time and it doesn't move, you're again just going to lose. So we're stuck inside of this candle. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, almost 15, almost 16, 17 candles inside of this range here. So it's pretty much whatever breaks and holds outside of 180 or 170 is really our play on that. But I am still short-term bearish to the downside to this support, but you have to recognize there is kind of a slight trend forming inside of here. And we're inside of that candle again. So it's really not fair to say bearish or bullish yet until we get a higher open, which this is just like Netflix and SPY, NOV S, and what I was just explaining. If we get a higher open or a lower open after a candle like this, we're going to have a really good day trade tomorrow on this ticker. So make sure to remember BA, Netflix, and SPY, if they do close like that, we have actually really good probability of playing in either direction tomorrow. Like I said, today could just be a boring range day. Highly expected. Done for the day. Have an awesome day. We'll be back for power. See you later, Rambo. Have a great day, man. I like your analogy of visualization. It works in all aspects of life. You have to see it. My favorite saying is, what's in the mind happens in time. Well, glad you like it, Edward. It's definitely something that's just kind of grown on me. I didn't have any like outside motivation or inspiration to kind of think this way. It's just, it seems logical, you know. I don't see the point in taking real trades if you're not confident. How can you grow your confidence and knowledge at the same time? Visualizing. Visualizing is the greatest way to grow your confidence and knowledge of price action all at the same time. Plus, it's free to visualize. You don't have to take trades to visualize. There's so many different methods. You could go to my watch list, add the levels on your chart, backtest it. You could do the levels yourself, backtest it, you know, really get that full practice going. But if you're not visualizing as much as you are trading, there's a problem. And thank you guys for so many likes on this. I just saw we almost hit 170 likes. You guys are amazing. Y'all have been destroying it. I need to just raise my goal. Y'all seem to be pretty steady above 150 likes. So I'm very happy to see we have at least 150 people returning to the stream over and over and over and enjoying them and reviewing them, even if it's only for a few minutes because you're going to work or you have kids or just life's dealing with you. So I appreciate that. PayPal has expanded its crypto buying, selling, and holding service to Luxembourg. I don't know if that's the news pumping this though. That is what just came out, but that was way earlier.
Where are you getting reaction? Or is it just PayPal?
Just PayPal. Jesus, I had somebody in a they were in a PayPal long, not because of this. They were in it because of a swing from the positioning on the daily time frame, and he said, "Must be I closed my call swing for 80%. That news wasn't in my TA though, as much as I wish it was." Good stuff, Noxta. It definitely doesn't work out like that always, but you'll notice the more you trade with patterns, the more you'll start to trade with or against news. You'll start to see they do position news. Oh, by the way, guys, one more thing. I forgot all about this. I'm so sorry, Leland. So I have something for free for y'all that I want you all to take with you. We made some flashcards, or my bad, my boy Leland made some flashcards. Look at that boy. Can we get a close-up on that? Look at that. Oh, no. Look at that boy. Let's go back. Oh, quit trying to sign me in, dear Lord. So if you guys want to take advantage of this, I am going to drop the link to this, but it's flashcards. You can go through them. We're going to add more. There's only 16, which 16 is a pretty good amount. But you can name the patterns. If you click on the card, it flips it over, tells you a little bit about it. And then you can go to the next one. You can flip all about it, talk about it. All that good stuff. But I'll link y'all this right now. That has to be what it is then, Amy. I don't think that news was too early. I think what you just said is why it's moving like that. Alright, so I'm going to pin this, guys. But the link to the flashcards is pinned to the whatever the comment section of YouTube here. But Leland took his time on that. We put it on that other thing, and it just wasn't perfect. I think this is a lot better. He paid like a couple bucks to get Quizlet going. So make sure to check that out, save it. I would definitely go through that as many times as you can, but that is a great system to just kind of go through those flashcards. But make sure you give some shout out to and appreciation towards Leland. That was beautiful. Definitely appreciate the extra content for you guys. Exactly, repetition. But I hope y'all enjoyed those free flashcards. We'll try to make more on different topics and add more patterns into it in the future. But for now, it's a very great start for anybody in here. I'd say the only thing the majority of us in here, and I'm including myself, that are lacking is not preparation. We have preparation checked off. That box is checked off a million times over. Learning when to trade and when not to trade. I would say that's one thing a lot of you guys need to learn on, or focus on, is noticing when the bigger time frame is in a more, emotional spot, a more volatile spot, where there's not really probability much for up or downside. And I go over that very in depth every single day just to make sure you guys are okay. So that's one thing that everyone here needs to work on. And then pattern recognition. I'd say pattern recognition is a big no-no in here. I've seen a lot of you guys call out great ones. I've seen a lot of you guys call out just wrong patterns, and that's totally fine. You have to make mistakes to learn. But I would take it serious. Go through those flashcards. Check out some of the swing trading content where I literally go over every pattern I like to trade. And that famous workshop video. It's like one of my most viewed videos still. One more thing. I'm trying to think of it. I mean, it kind of goes along with my other point. When knowing not to trade, knowing when to trade is risk reward. You know, if you're gonna sit there and tell me you don't know when to enter, then you don't need to be trading because you haven't visualized or reviewed enough, and that's a very easy answer to fixing that, limiting yourself to certain types of entries. In my Discord as well, I even have an entire channel dedicated to this just because of that. I don't want people taking trades that are outside of their usual routine. So if you're taking random entries and exits, you know, that you've never taken before, then stop doing that. You know, I have swing entries, day trade entry exits, all kinds of stuff. We have that live trading playlist. So make sure to go through this stuff and kind of break it down, but limit yourself to those entries. There's literally only 3 types of entries we look for in here. The initial breakout, we like to look for retest inside and outside of range, and we like to look for the buy the dip base build strategy. 3 types of entries, that's all you need. Focus on them. The staircase method, you know, do you have just one contract or do you have multiple? If you have just one, you don't really need to be focused on those farther targets. You need to sell at the first one and try to visualize making it to those farther targets. If you have multiple contracts, sell most at your first target, try to make the rest of them runners towards your last target. Move your stop loss up to where you either break even or slightly green if it pulls back on you. Yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed those flashcards, though. Leland did work hard on them. He had to kind of mess with it a bunch. It might not have been like a hard thing to do or get examples of, but it did take him time to find those examples, to type everything out, to move it from that other BS program over to Quizlet. So it did take a lot of effort. So make sure you guys give him a pat on the back for that one. But I hope y'all enjoy them. Again, the link is pinned to the comment section, so everybody should see it easily. And don't just learn the patterns, learn how to look for the patterns. It's not just find a pattern and trade it. No, it has to have good positioning. You wouldn't trade a bearish pattern at support. You wouldn't trade a bullish pattern at resistance. It's always about patterns with positioning as well. Yeah, let me know how y'all enjoy those. Be sure to go through them a couple times, then hit me up or hit Leland up and let us know how you enjoy them or not. See if there's any other major patterns we should add, but he got the majority of the major ones we like to look at in here. And every stock chart looks the exact same. Whether they went up or down first doesn't matter because they're all just sideways. This is why I like to make this very clear to you guys in the morning, because it's very painful to sit here and watch people jump into longs or shorts and just try to hold them outside of the range. There's no point. So again, pre-market prep paying off big time. We talked about the potential for drops both days, yesterday and the day before. We talked about today possibly having a sideways day or a slightly green day even, which we're not really getting that so far, but the day's not over. PayPal CEO Dan Schulman discussing investing in company's checkout. Mentions working with Apple. That would be pretty big for PayPal, I'd say. Working with the most major company in the one of the most major companies in the world. Check our sectors just for a second. XLK still in range, nothing crazy. XLV did have a pullback, still holding decently though over yesterday's levels and its own. XLY towards the bottom of its range, but still holding. XLC towards the bottom of its range, still holding, even after breaking previous day low. XLF in a relatively decent spot as they're perfectly flat zeroed out right now. Industrial still green to the right. Staples green to the right. Real estate green to the right. Same for base. Utilities very slightly green. We have a very slightly red energy sector. So really everything's just sitting in range right now. And it's just cool too, because you could sit here and really talk about both sides of the story and say, well, for bears, you know, they probably like this because it's bringing more fear. But for bulls, they probably like this because we're just still holding support today. Again, building up confidence to try and move higher. So, again, always think from a non-biased point of view. You can really add conviction for both sides of the story there. All right, everyone, done for the day. Thanks for the stream. See you later, October. Very glad to have you in the stream. Thank you for engaging. And thank you, Daffy and Isaiah, for wishing her a good day out. Costco at the bottom of its yearly channel pattern, higher lows. Don't say that too loud. My boy VKK might pop up and start buying calls a bunch. He's a huge Costco bull. Oh, this is the year. Now, good eye. They're not at the lows because they had that one earnings dip, but if you discount that whole earnings dip, they are basically at that bigger support of the year. Kind of between here. Good eye. Who said that? Casso, good job. And see right here, this is what I mean, trading patterns. You wouldn't buy a bullish engulfing at resistance, right? Because that's what you have, a bullish engulfing, but it's not in the right spot. You'd be looking for that more down here. Bearish kicker happens right after that day. That's crazy. I think I talked about Costco a few days ago with you, Casso, or somebody else brought it up, but somebody asked what are my opinions on Costco, and I said it does look good for, you know, sideways movement or maybe even a slight pullback. I would have never have guessed a large pullback, but I did say a pullback was probably going to happen because they're probably anticipating earnings. Because you have earnings popping up here tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow after the market closes, Costco has earnings. So after this big rally, they probably were expecting pretty good earnings, and this is them taking profits, getting ready for a decent earnings to come out. So they're probably pricing in a good earnings, is how I see it. But don't bet on calls just because I said that. I'm just saying that's probably what's going on here. But you're right, though. They are near some really good supports. I was just trying to reflect on what I said before. I think that's what I covered, though. I think I talked about the anticipation of earnings. I would not have just left that out. Damn, that is a pretty crazy potential bull flag, like you said. Still early on, like you said, but But yeah, that is a pretty impressive compounding price there. Which you could see on the daily too, and that's what kind of impressed me when he said it was still holding yearly lows. I was like, what? Besides that earnings dip, they pretty much are still holding their yearly lows. Exactly, all up to interpretation though. I like how you said that. Which is what patterns are. It really is perspective. You might see something I don't, I might see something you don't. Or neither of us see it. But good open mind, Isaiah, I like that. An open-minded person is always going to be better at trading than someone who likes to be biased or closed-minded. Always. Because you're always going to be able to understand, okay, well, I messed up here. This is why. I did really good on here. This is why. You know, being able to cover your goods and your bads. Even on the earnings dip, you can chart the higher lows from it. Yeah, I wasn't saying that wasn't. I was just saying of the entire year, it did have a lower low. But from what you're saying, yes, you are correct. Costco relatively holding up very well, which makes sense to me. Again, anytime you talk about Costco, it makes me think of Apple. Anytime you say Apple, I think of Costco because they are staples of not just our economy, but of the global economy. Anytime you see Costco or Apple doing bad, that's a very bad sign for the global economy because that means their supply chain is either diminishing or there's not enough demand for something. Those two companies ever fail, this world is in for some hurting because they have direct control of their supply chains. They run that. People go to them to try to break off their supply chains. So, yeah. Always very smart to look at Costco and Apple just for overall economy strength. Because if you go compare SPY, and we can do it here in a second if y'all want. Or we can just do it now. Nothing's happening anyway. If you go to the daily on SPY, I'm just going to clear this. And I think it's right here. Yeah, it's right here. I gotta do this twice. It only added one. Okay. Let's do that again. Oh, can you only do one at a time? Okay, whatever. But we'll just do one at a time. So if you compare SPY to Apple. Actually, this is a horrible example. Yeah, that's a horrible example. Hold up. It's not going to calculate it right. That's why it's messing up. Alright, whatever. Maybe I won't show it. But my whole point is if you compare this SPY chart to the Apple chart on the daily, this isn't accurate either. You'll see that Costco and Apple are actually holding up relatively very well in comparison to most tickers. Apple really hasn't pulled back that much. You know, even from their 176s, they just had that one big leg down, and since then they've been basing for a while. SPY has not done that at all. SPY has had a large correction, a pullback, large correction, slight base build, and not really much of a base build after that. We just have this little basing here. But if you compare Cost and Apple to SPY, you'll see that they're actually holding up very well in comparison to the overall sectors, especially the sector they belong to. Apple's by far performing better than most of its peers, and so is Costco. So it's just kind of cool to look back and be like, oh, damn, they're actually kind of strong. If you guys have access, by the way, if you have basic membership at least, you have access to this. But you should come check out the Staircase Method Part 1, Staircase Method Part 2, and Staircase Method Part 3. They're all about, I think they're 60-second clips. But definitely worth checking those three out. Talks about a very important method you can use to grow your account and also trade passively. And thank you, D-Touch, for getting those clips together. That is not an easy task. It is kind of hard to go through the entirety of the stream and really kind of pick and choose which clips to take out. And then also trying to narrow it down and find some high-quality clips. It's even harder because the streams are so long. So shout out to D-Touch for getting those for me. But how's everyone in stream? Who's all still awake? Who's still alive?
Watching the paint dry. You know, the next stock that might be following Carvana, because they're very short-term cash and they haven't been able to recruit. It's Peloton. Peloton's only got like 3 months of free cash flow.
Yeah, I saw that this morning, Cass. I think that was the first thing I looked at this morning. I was like, damn, they downgraded Carvana from $9 to $1. That's a pretty big, pretty big downgrade. Dippity do price again. Rinse and repeat. One AMD call scout for me in that tiny 5-10 minute range. 130 bucks. Good stuff, Sand Dollar. Probably Daffy. It'll probably be right after I end stream. You'll start to see more movement in SPY. I would assume we get one more downside movement and then probably look for a base build to a bounce. Watching the paint dry. I hear that. I heard that. How many of you go back and review old streams, or I mean, I say old streams, but previous streams that I've done over the past couple months? Because we've been doing these since August. I did make the private playlist of streams public, though. So you should be able to find that playlist to be able to review through all of the streams, because you have to have the link to do it. So there's, I think we're past 90 now. I think we're at 90. We're close to 90, but we're pretty close to 90 plus streams right now on YouTube since I started doing these again. We started back in the beginning of August. Damn, this is our 5th month going at it. It doesn't even feel like it. Feels like a couple months, but I would never have said 5.
Cat 5 times.
Yeah, Cat getting some move. They must have had some news come out. Ah, I never thought about that like that, Isaiah. That's super smart, dude. You're big brain. Go along with the stream on demand. That is like, that's 5 brain, Isaiah. Seriously, great idea. I might try that myself this weekend, to be honest. Beautiful idea, though. That didn't even cross my mind one time. What would I do without you? Do you only trade at the money options? Any rules for out of the money? Yes. So a lot of the time I trade at the money or slightly out of the money when I trade options. When I swing, I try to focus at the money or barely out of the money as well. But the thing is with out of the money, you're grabbing a cheaper contract, but it has lower probability of getting there because you have to have price move towards it faster, essentially, for your decay not to destroy your... Because you're trading a time decaying asset. That's what options are. They're time decaying assets. So when you trade out of the money, make sure there is some volume, some open interest when they're a swing trade. When it's a day trade, I don't really focus on that as much. I'm really just focused on grabbing a really good at the money or slightly out of the money. But the more out of the money you go, Nick, the worse it's going to be on you. So try your best not to grab too far out of the money, whatever you're trading. And if you're having to go out of the money, it's probably because you can't afford those better contracts, which means you should probably focus on trading cheaper tickers, if that's the case. Again, I'm just pointing this out from what I know. Not saying that you're doing that, just pointing it out. How's PayPal doing? They still going? Hell no. But the big thing with at the money contracts and why I like them the most, Nick, is because when you get that at the money to go in the money or out of the money to at the money to in the money, you get the biggest gamma increase, which is like the sole factor feeding your contract, feeding the premium of your contract. So that's why we like it the most. I see it as also as like kind of treating yourself. You know, if you work hard and you visualize enough and you review enough, why would you ever want to take a trade in which you're giving yourself a shitty options contract? You know, you're not really giving yourself a fighting chance, especially after all that hard work you've done, right? So that's also kind of how I see it. Grabbing a better contract is always going to be a better choice because you're not going to have to deal with as much of a hard variable. It's just going to be trade it. It won't be as much as like, oh crap, the IV of my contract did this did that. You know, you won't be dealing with as much. Walmart food has driven gains with higher income customers. Walmart CEO Doug McMillan. Huh. So Walmart selling food to higher income customers. Your on-demand is extremely slow. Do you know what I can do to make it work better? You might have to message TOS. They have a couple things that you can do, and you can click support and message them about it. But one thing that they told me back when I had to fix my on-demand initially, and I haven't had to mess with it since then, but I had to go log out of my account. I had to click the cogwheel at the bottom of the login screen, and there's like a, I forgot what it's called. It's like a server connection rate or whatever. But you adjust that and to whatever you need it to until it works better. But overall, you should probably just message them first because they'll tell you based on what you're using, what settings you should put on. But there are a couple things, and if they make you go to your login on Trader on TD Ameritrade, it's probably something with your account. But yeah, definitely send them a message though, Freedom. Anytime I don't have any answers or I don't see anything on Google, I just click that support button at the top right, and they actually are very. So most of the time they're pretty quick and they are very helpful. There are a couple idiots that work there, but for the most part you get a really good customer service agent that'll help you out. That's where I go though. So if you have any internal errors with TOS, that's the first place you should go, is messaging support. They're relatively quick, especially when the market's open. But I do know that one setting at the beginning can mess with you a little too. Dollar breaking with nice candle. Ooh, yeah, very nice. I learned a bad lesson yesterday on out of the money. Tried a small lotto yesterday on SPY to continue drop. The trade took too long, and even though I eventually hit my target, I still lost money. There you go. Beautiful breakdown by Gary right there. I would say that's a good lesson to learn, because I promise you'll never do it again. Or at least if you do it again, you'll have more awareness of, okay, this isn't moving as fast as I need it to. I should probably just take it. Take it out. Good breakdown, though, Gary. Thank you for sharing that, because that's a very relatable post you just dropped. I think all of us can agree with that one. At one point, we've all tried it. True story. And it's okay, Daff. I didn't think you were yelling at us, and if you were, I'd be okay with it anyway, because you're calling out the dollar. Who's gonna complain about someone calling out the dollar, right? That is pretty hard to beat, Dream. That's impressive. Not only have they become more enticing to any income level customer, it's just also the situation we're in too. So it's almost like a double win for Walmart to rake in those higher earning customers, which is good because it's good for Walmart. That's impressive though, Dream.
When you look at how much you have to spend when you go into the higher tier grocery stores right now to get the groceries, because I'm frequently stopped by those grocery stores for some things, and inflation hit those stores just like every other store, and you can definitely spend some money on them.
Sticker shock every time I go into a grocery. I know exactly what you mean. Some static shock every time. But on the stickers of the prices. Like, damn, this is how much milk is? Milk was already expensive enough. Alright guys, I think I'm going to do one more breakdown, and then we'll go ahead and end the stream there. But let's go over SPY on the smaller time frame, then we'll go to SPY on the bigger time frame. I'll look at the dollar for a little bit. If you guys have any questions while I'm doing that, I'll answer them, and then we'll end the stream there. But first off, today, as expected, getting a range trade day, so we're not really getting any demand direction either way. We're not getting really bears or bulls taking over. Today in stream, though, we did call out 3 separate short positions, and I don't normally do this, but I liked the probability, especially the third one. This was the one I was the most confident on. But we saw this pop up to 395 in the first 10 minutes, a very good sign that if we don't push over, we are going to come back down and try to test today's open. That's exactly what we got, and that's exactly what we planned. So that was a really good short. We had a second one pop up here, and I said since we've already tested this low here, probably should aim for a higher low, and that's exactly what happened. We ended up getting that. We took most profits here and into the blue area, so that was good. And we pulled up one more time, and even though we did push up, even with decent volume, nothing crazy low, nothing crazy high, we had sector rotation kind of approach us. We had XLK, XLY, and XLC. They were bringing us back down, but at the same time, all of the sectors that were green and up today, they were pulling back down as well. So this is what kind of led to the overall momentum of everything working together. These first 2 times, though, we didn't have anything working together. Everything was fighting themselves. But up here, everything worked together, and we had the largest pullback of the day from that move. So we had 3 really good trading opportunities based on 3 different really pieces of analysis, but that was really awesome. So I'm really happy we got to call those out today. Nothing really outside of the range today so far. What I would look at for next is really this range between today's high and this 390. So this is where the next moves will come out of for open range breakout. You can look towards 396 and even the 390/388, which isn't really much distance on either side. But overall, that's what we're being given because we're really at the apex of this squeeze right now. We're really at the end of it. I'm going to show you that here on the daily time frame. Let me clear these levels though so we don't have as much junk in our way, because this is supposed to be my daily time frame chart. Those are all cleared. But. All right, so back to the 6-month daily time frame here. Let me just zoom this in. All right, so you can see, just like I said, even though we've had this pullback, that doesn't mean we have to keep selling off. We're probably going to get that slowdown, and that's what we got today. We're just really still fighting this little area between this area of consolidation we had here from the daily time frame on SPY. This is where we just kind of sat for a while after the CPI data came out. Then we had PAL here where we launched from that, and we're basically back to square one from PAL. If anything, we're even lower than when we had PAL. So nothing crazy there. Next thing to look out for is if we get a continuation down, and this is why I like the candle we have today. I really like these a lot. But we can focus on higher open or lower open, and this will lead us to either catching retest to the downside or retest to the upside, in which we'll have a very clear direction tomorrow, in my opinion, unless we produce another candle like this tomorrow, and then we'll just be in the same seat. Nothing changes. But overall, what we're looking out for is a larger pullback if we can break this area for bears, and if we can hold this slight trend line from the daily time frame, we should get a pretty good bounce back to at least 398, possibly even 400. But these are two areas I'm looking at to kind of keep us in range, or to show us what direction to look out for. But we are finally approaching the apex of that squeeze, really, so, which is good. We're finally going to get a decision here soon, but it's all in anticipation of next week's news. As I said yesterday, the day before that, all of the price action this week is going to be all waiting for next week. No matter what data comes out this week, it doesn't matter as much as waiting for next week's news on Wednesday. So we're going to have the FOM meeting, we're going to have PAL speak afterwards, we're going to have all that great stuff. So we'll definitely be sure to, if I don't stream it, we'll definitely be sure to post notes on what's possible, what to look out for in the bigger and smaller time frames. So that's all of that with SPY and the Fed and all that. The dollar not really helping us out today. They did have a red day, but they started up higher, and most of this pullback was actually from this morning. This isn't even from open market, so nothing really, helping the dollar. Nothing really helping equities move higher. It's just kind of pulling back. Nothing really crazy happening. So we're gonna have to pay attention to see, is this the rejection to bring us back down lower, which is good for bulls on the equity market. If we end up seeing them hold this resistance or hold this support and push higher, this is going to bring more bears into the equity market, bring more pressure. So we'll have to pay attention to that. But I hope you guys enjoyed the stream today. We had a couple good trade ideas. Really just had some fun breaking things down together again, like usual, just kind of covering the levels. So sorry we didn't get any crazy moves. It's not really my fault, but I am sorry we didn't get any amazing moves. We just had a couple inside of the range trade ideas. But I do believe we're going to have a really awesome end of this week, and really just more impressive next week. So stay on your toes. Like I said, Monday, just try to survive. Really, you shouldn't be looking to trade anything heavier this week. If anything, keep trading light. Or just sit cash if you're not comfortable with anything. Wait until we have more confirmed movements. Wait till we have more passive confirmations. But yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Today's Wednesday, yeah, so I'll see y'all tomorrow for Thursday. And Amy is correct. We do have quad witching next Friday. Great memory, Amy. Love that you help us out with that. But I'll see you guys later on. I seriously do appreciate you guys for joining in, dropping likes. Feel free to hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Discord. I don't care where you hit me up at. But feel free to ask questions. If you just want to conversate, whatever, I answer everybody. But I'll see you guys later on. Have a great rest of your day. And seriously, thank you guys for the support.